do what I want. Yeah. Shit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody. I have popcorn.
Jack, how you doing tonight besides the popcorn?
My voice hurts a little bit from reading that new open game license from Wizards of the Coast. That is 3-hour stream, so
Damn.
they have a lot of recovery time between then and now. So, and I drank a shitload of caffeine, so I'm super wired.
Well, that's cool because I am not. I am a little subdued, as you might be able to tell by my voice, guys. I'm going to do my very best to make this not an uplifting. We don't do uplifting around here.
No, that's not our gig.
A vibrant stream. How about that? Oh, you didn't think I could pull out a word, did you?
I was impressed with vibrant for sure.
Thank you, and it fits too. Speaking of vibrant, I think I want to start off with something you sent me not too long ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a big follower of the royal family. I'm really not. I don't much care about them. They pop up now and then. Yes, we're going to lead with this. They pop up now and then, and we have to discuss them because, well, we don't have to. It's just funny. And so the other day, we had to hear about Prince Harry's todger, is apparently what they call it over there in the UK. What the fuck does todger mean? I get it's penis, but is that all it's for, you know?
I've heard it pronounced both todger and dodger. So I don't know. Maybe it's like will he make it in the hole kind of thing, you know?
I guess.
It's a dodger if it misses and goes in the butthole or something. I don't know. Are we far enough in we can swear now? Because you said shit right out the gate.
Yeah, I believe we are. We only got to get past that 7 seconds. 7 seconds and then 30 seconds and then 2 hours. Those are the ones that I know about. So Prince Harry had some issues with his todger. You see, he got a little bit of frostbite on his ding-a-ling, and he wrote about it in his book for some reason. And we have a dramatic reading, which is this actually the audio book?
I think it actually is him.
Because it kind of sounds like him, but hopefully now it's kind of quiet, y'all. It's up as loud as I can get it. So I'll be quiet.
My penis was oscillating between.
That's louder than I remembered it.
Yeah, he said penis. British penis.
He starts out screaming my penis in my ear. I think I need to turn my volume down on my computer, not on the actual thing.
It's funny because when this guy says it, it's comedic. When
penis.
Bear says penis, it's funny. But this is a different kind of funny. This is haha sad. When Bear does it, it's haha funny.
It's just there's something weird about hearing, one of the proper royal Englishmen, my penis. Yeah,
it's like a classy erotica.
It's like imagining the Queen yelling, "Pound my vag." You know what I mean?
Hey, pound my vag.
Pound my vag. Get it in there,
with your todger. With your Lord John Thomas.
Let's hear about his. Seriously, I'm just going to warn you guys. We'll probably get hit for copyright for this too. Fuck you, Harry. I don't care. Tell Meghan to eat me. But
top of the salad, bitch.
It's important. This is newsworthy, and I just want you guys to pay attention.
My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized.
I hope I never have to describe my penis as borderline traumatized.
You think?
I've seen some things doing research that has mentally traumatized my penis,
right?
But never physically. Although I do know it is possible to break your penis, so be careful out there, guys. Make sure when you pull out game, you don't want to pull all the way out on every stroke. You're going to hit that taint, and you're going to be hurt. All right.
Yeah, never pull out all the way if you don't have to.
No.
That's shit they do in pornos. They're professionals.
Yeah.
Last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
Frostnipistan. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a real place, But he said Frost Nipper Stand, and that sounded like a place where all the women have really hard nipples. I don't know.
I took that differently. I took that to mean a place where people with frozen wieners go.
Well, I guess is nipper a thing for their penises over there?
I don't know. They have weird terms for stuff like methane. Nipple. What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's something you get at Frost Nipper Stand. I don't. Okay, sorry guys. I will shut up this time.
I'm pretty sure Frost Meeper Stand is in Scotland.
Oh, I heard Nipper Stand, not Meeper Stand. My bad.
Oh, I don't fucking know what he was mumbling about.
I heard nip like nipple. All right. Look, he's British and I don't like him, so I'm not going to be charitable to him or his fucked up Willie. Oh, man. Do you realize his kids now have to know that they came from a fucked up dick? They're going to be old enough to read one day, homie.
If one of his kids is darker skinned than the others, do you think they're going to be like, it's from dad's frozen penis?
Probably.
Because, I mean, you had frostbit wiener. Yeah, I don't want to know the lasting effects that may have had on his Long John Thomas.
All right. Now, I will shut up for the rest of this because I'm pretty sure this is the important part.
What's Nipper Stand? I've been trying some home remedy.
No, see, that sounded like Nipper Stand.
It might have been.
All right, I don't know. Go back one more time. I will stop it after this, you guys, but I swear that's a Nipper Stand.
I've been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry. Trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
What? You opened it, you immediately thought of your mom, and then you applied it down there. You know, Jack, even if my penis was hurting, I'd have to take like at least half an hour and get my mind on something else before I was like, this reminds me of mom. She used to put it on her lips. I need to put it on my junk.
Yeah. Mentioning your mother's lips and your wiener in the same sentence is bad enough, but you're thinking it too. Dude, get some help, okay? You have issues.
Your mom was in your mind as you were rubbing stuff on your penis to make it feel better. I don't really even know where to go with that other than Marty McFly references, which I made you in private. Yeah. Why would anyone think about your mom when your dick is out? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, he was in pain, so this wasn't like he was, whacking it yet until he started thinking about his mom. Yeah, I don't know. That's really fucking weird. Really weird. And I still maintain the reason he hooked up with Megan is because she's a controlling freak like Diana was with her kids.
Yeah, she probably reminded him a lot.
The woman is dressed up in outfits that look almost identical to iconic Diana outfits.
Yeah, I'm sure that was intentional. Or he's got some weird fetish. I don't. Both, probably.
We went through those on stream one night. This group of photos that people have put together out there where she's dressed up like his mom. Yeah. That's weird.
That's very weird. Dude's got a lot of issues. He was pretty young when she died, too.
We're not talking about dressing up like his mom. His mom had been wearing a t-shirt and jeans. No. We're talking some pretty elaborate outfits, special made hats and that kind of stuff to look like his mom. That's creepy. Do you think she uses the Elizabeth Arden cream on her lips when she's polishing the Todger?
She does now.
I have a question. What does it have to do with Biden? Nothing. Thanks for asking. Yeah, the whole, oh man, I was not expecting that when you sent this to me, and I listened. I was like, all right, he's got this cream. It's going to make it weird for him that, it reminds him of his mom. That would have been That would have been the thing that I went with. Like God, the smell just reminded me of mom, and now I got to put it on my wiener. This is weird. Nah. And then I reached down and I put it on my Dodger. What? No, what? I put it. He goes, I put it down there. What? That sounds like creepy porn is what it sounds like, homie.
It totally sounds like erotica.
That's so nasty. You fucking sick bastard. I get it. Look, you're a British royal, so incest, not exactly something you guys are opposed to, but fuck. I will need some stronger liquor after this one. I know, Libra. Fuck, man. Blame Jack. I hadn't seen this shit. Jack brought this to my attention.
To be fair, it made me laugh. Giving it
did.
To you and seeing
it
your
made
reaction.
me laugh in all the wrong ways.
I know.
This is creepy as fuck, man. Please a link to the dick cream clip. Hang on. Give me a second here. Because I just pulled it up here. I got to pull up the whole thread. There we go. All right, here it is on the YouTube side of things, and I will throw it into the for those of you over on Rumble, yeah, you got to be part of this too. We had to hear it. You got to hear it. I need meth to forget this one. It's fucking gross, man. It made me think of my mom, so I put it down there. Did Megan help you write this? Jesus. So, I see why they kicked him out of the royal family. Is it better or worse that his mom's dead when he's thinking about shoving it in her mouth?
I don't know, dude. There's really no good way to dress this up.
Well, I mean, he can't get to her, so there's a plus there.
You don't
on
know
the other side,
what kind of vault access he has.
Well, that's true. He could have the keys to the crypt. I don't know where she's buried either, so maybe never mind. That's gross. No, stopping.
Yeah, we better stop while we're ahead.
I'm gonna stop right there, because that was about to get all right. So there's the top story of the night. Prince Harry, his Todger, and his mom's mouth. You know, it would have even been better if he hadn't have said, my mom used to put this on her lips. If he just said, my mom used to use it.
Yeah. It did specify, but he was thinking of lips. Maybe he just wanted to rub his wiener on the lips and not actually get a blowjob. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. I'm freaking myself out here.
Do you think when he sits on, never mind. All right, we're going to move on.
Kyle, that's what we were talking about before the stream started.
Do you think he goes in the bathroom too soon after Megan's been in there? He's like, that's what mom used to smell like.
Your poo smells like mother's.
No, not the poo. Because, I mean, there's other scents, at certain times of the month, the lunar cycle for the ladies.
Oh, yeah. Visit for me and Flo.
That smells like mom's pennies.
Jesus.
We're getting real gross here. So we're going to move along.
Shit, you did this, not me.
Oh, fuck you. You brought this up.
I sent you the clip. I didn't make you play it.
Mr. Hughes says, stop making it worse. I really am trying.
We can't.
This is one of those things that just blows my fucking mind because I do not understand people. I don't.
What the fuck?
How do you get from, I would be like, so I begrudgingly, I still had to put it on there. Even, God, it's fucking gross. This is nasty. Makes me think of my mom. But, makes my penis feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing is the wording along with his vocal tone made it weirdly erotic somehow. I'm like, what really the hell, dude? You couldn't even sound repulsed during the recording of it?
No, he was all happy about it. He was like, oh, yeah. Mama. This is mama's milk right here. It's mother's milk.
Her lip juice.
It works, Harry. Trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
There's no part of that doesn't sound like a weird erotic novel. That is fucking gross, Harry.
Yeah.
And seek help, man. Seek help.
Yeah, he needs it.
Momo erotic. Oh shit. Oh, okay. I suppose we should move along to more relevant topics to the day. Ginger says, "What did I walk into?" Well, apparently, Prince Harry, he had the frostbite on his wiener. He went to Frozen Nipistan or whatever it was called, and one of his friends was like, "Yo, you need to put this stuff on your wiener to make it feel better." And he goes, "But that makes it smell like my mom. I'm going to do it real fast." I might be paraphrasing. Oh, God damn it. Frosted, thank you. Get in a car crash, honey. It really turned me on.
That was a James Spader movie, Crash.
I've never seen Crash. I'm aware of it.
There's two different movies called Crash, and they came out around the same time. One has James Spader, where it's about people that get turned on by car accidents.
That's
and
the
other
one
one is like one of those feel-good racial movies where somebody hits a black kid and they feel really bad about it, and then blah, 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 racial crap. Stupid.
Oh, yeah. That one I wasn't aware of. The Spader one I'm aware of because that one was kind of, I don't want to say big at the time, but it made a lot of news because of its subject matter.
Yeah, well, it's harder to beat off to one of them than the other, and I'll let you decide which one.
That depends. Is it Richard Spencer or normal people?
It depends which one you're watching.
Oh, fuck. This is going to be one of those shows.
I had a lot of caffeine, dude. And you led with the Harry thing.
Well, I mean, I guess we could go into the Biden stuff real fast because it's not much better.
Sniff.
Sniffy sniff. All right. So yesterday we told you guys that they'd found, I'm using the big air quotes, some Biden secret documents. And I've been assured that they were all turned over right away, Jack. And we've been assured by the people who had them in their custody for 6 fucking years that they turned them over immediately. You know, like you do. And I'm so annoyed at seeing the press. Not one motherfucker has questioned that. Everybody's been like, yes, they turned it over immediately. How do you know? How do you know? By the way, I have bridges I am still selling. And so everybody's like, oh, it's just a couple of files. Don't worry about it. No big deal. Oh, shit, we found more. Whoopsie.
Yeah, they kind of implied originally it was like one folder with like a couple documents in it. No big deal. Just a little bit about Ukraine and Iran. And now,
not important.
Now, whoopsie, there seems to be another folder.
Yeah, found in a different location. The original ones were found at University of Pennsylvania in the Penn Biden Center.
Yeah, which is located in D.C., not on the University of Pennsylvania campus.
And the weird thing about this is nobody can really say what Biden did there. He had an office there. He made, I think it was 12 speeches at U of Penn over that 4 years that he wasn't president.
Yeah.
Or vice president. And that's all he did there. But for some reason, he needed a closet. And they've started adding this, Jack. It was kept in a locked closet.
Yeah. That's a big key detail because that's safer than Trump did.
Yeah.
Who had stuff stored in a separate room in a closet that was locked and is surrounded by Secret Service agents.
Yeah, in his private area of Mar-a-Lago. It's not like it was in the dining room.
Yeah, no, it was in the dining room on a cart under a small table. That's what they make it sound like, but it was in a
with the lead
area.
pipe.
Yeah, and guarded by Colonel Mustard.
Yeah. So they found more, and once again, they were turned over immediately. 6 years later.
Look, your hate facts have no place here. Linear time doesn't mean what you think it means, bigot.
And I still have not heard a good reason why his attorneys were helping him move here. It makes no sense. None. Even Jack, if we were going to give any kind of normal thing, okay, this was his office where he got a lot of work done. Well, one, no, it wasn't. But two, any of those files that should have been, sorted through by an attorney, all of that should have happened when he left the vice president's office, not when he's leaving U of Penn.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's probably an explanation for it that could be legitimate.
I know what it is. I know what it is. Biden promised him a case of beer if he helped him move.
Oh yeah, and a pizza.
And a pizza. Because that's what you do when you
move for less. So.
When your friends help you move, you got to give them beer and pizza.
Yeah. Let's be honest. They were probably there to secure something. And whatever they were there to get, this wasn't it. And they were like, we should just give these to the archives.
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were looking for. I have no doubt about that.
But I don't think it was this paperwork. It was probably something else that they didn't turn over.
I'm be honest with you, Jack, with what we know about all of this stuff, I would not be shocked if they weren't looking for exactly this.
There's two ways this could go. Let's say they were looking for this. This would be the ultimate way to encourage a dementia patient to resign from their job.
Yep.
Alternately, they were there for some other incriminating paperwork, hypothetically, that then met a shredder or a small outdoor fire. And this other paperwork, they're like, this actually needs to go back to the archives, not thinking that it'll hit the press at some point. And thinking the archives will be able to cover it up for good.
I think, one, we know at the timing they purposefully buried this story until after the election. There's no question about that. If you don't think that happened, you probably think that Prince Harry wasn't thinking dirty about his mom when he was slathering up his wiener with Elizabeth Arden cream.
Yeah.
Ladies, do any of you use Elizabeth Arden cream?
On your lips.
On your lips.
Your sexy mommy lips.
Do you ever use it down there? Anyhow.
Have you ever applied it to your lips and then applied it to your man's frozen wiener?
Well, he didn't say which lips. I'm just being honest.
I know. It's gross.
You can get chapped lips down there too with all the moisture. And if you're not wearing panties and it's cold out, you gotta be careful.
I'm just saying the whole thing's weird and gross. That's why I sent it to you. I was like, gotta share this with Monkey.
Does Elizabeth Arden make a labia cream?
I rule nothing out these days.
Huh. The what cream? Elizabeth Arden cream.
It's a company. Elizabeth Arden, it's a makeup company.
And he's very vague about that. I feel like they probably make more than one cream. I don't know. I'm not rich enough to buy Elizabeth Arden stuff, so
it's probably like a lip balm.
Probably, which is why he thought of his mom's mouth when he was slathering it on his wiener. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, guys, don't fantasize about your mom naked, okay? Ugh. Stop watching Back to the Future. It has ruined so many people. I'm just saying.
No, that movie's a classic. You don't know what you're talking about. Only you see dirty stuff in there, you pervert.
I am not the only one who sees dirty stuff in there, although I may have helped spread some of it inadvertently. Yeah. Look, she says, that feels like I'm kissing my brother. There's only one way to know that. Only one way.
Unless she was using it metaphorically, like, I imagine this is what that would be like.
That's not what she said.
I understand.
She said, this feels like kissing my brother. There's no room for wiggle in there. It was all stiff.
There's no room for wiggle in there, so things are nice and snug, is what you're saying.
Jack, please save this stream. That got too weird. Really? See, this is why I always say, you're worse than I am, but I get all the blame for it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good boy, didn't do nothing. I'm just some hitchhiker you picked up on the way. This is on you.
Cannibalistic says, my mom chose heroin over her children. I don't think much, if anything, about that bitch. Well, if one day one of your friends tells you to think or to apply heroin to your wiener, don't think of mom while you're doing it. I watch cultured cinema, Monkey. How dare you? How dare you? Oh, what were we talking about? Biden. How the fuck did we get back to this? Biden.
I don't know. You did this.
Biden has more papers, and the press is like, what? Mehdi Hassan tweeted out, I imagine George Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama are having everybody go through their papers to look for paperwork. Now it's just paperwork, Jack. It's no longer top secret. We saw the a Tucker clip yesterday where he's showing these people and over again, mostly on MSNBC, which is where Media Hassan works, right? Or is he CNN? Yeah, MSNBC.
One of those shitty ones.
But over and over again, oh my God, national security. Nope. Suddenly it's just paperwork. It's just paperwork. Nothing to see here.
Look, Biden is a straight up honest boy from Scranton, and you're trying to paint him out like some kind of criminal. Like,
well, let's do a little word problem here, Jack. What do Bill Clinton, George Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump all have in common with papers that they may have taken from their time working in the executive branch prior to 2020?
They were presidents and not a vice president?
Wow, it's like you got that right off. You should probably work for MSNBC to help them with some of their fact checking.
Oh, that was just the joke answer. I was going to go with reptilian, but
well, I'm not saying they're not both true. Two things can be true at the same time, Jack.
That's a fair point.
Harry could have had frostbite on his wiener and enjoyed masturbating to his mom.
Yeah, but he probably did the second one a lot more frequently than the first one.
Hey, Harry, I'm not going to lie. I probably masturbated to your mom once too.
I don't think I ever found her that attractive.
Look, I was horny a lot, and I saw her in a bathing suit one time on a beach with no top on. You remember those pictures, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't have hit it. I just don't remember like looking at her very often.
No, I saw those pictures. I was young and horny, and like, well, it's time to get some Elizabeth Arden cream.
See, my parents hated all the royalty stuff, so we never really watched any of that shit. I caught part of the wedding because my school had it on there for some fucking reason. But my parents don't give a shit about the royal family. Just like football was ever on TV at our house. Oh,
football was on TV all the time in my house, but we didn't watch that stuff. It would just be on the news. So, and then as I believe the topless thing was when I was in my teens. Yeah. So titties, man.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather had a very healthy stack of Playboys at the foot of his bed. So,
Monkey is a sick bastard. What? How am I sick? You never touched yourself? Don't lie. I don't believe people say I never touched myself.
I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's just saying your taste is weird.
Oh, for touch? No, I think he's doing it because I was talking about jacking over that guy's dead mom.
Oh, yeah. Well, you weren't looking at the Paris pictures.
She wasn't dead at the time.
Well,
it's not like I waited till she was dead and like, oh, now I can do it. I'm not him.
Give me those accident photos. That would be really fucked up.
Ooh, look at all that red lube. Anyhow, wow. Would Monk have jerked off to old pictures of Elizabeth too? When she was younger, Elizabeth was cute, and if they had her topless, probably. What, you never touch yourself to topless women? I'm just saying. Dude, Skinamax was the shit when I was a kid. Stay up late when everybody else goes to sleep on the weekends. Oh yeah, baby. And you never saw anything but maybe a little bush and boobs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, man, so many classics, too.
Yeah.
Sahara Heat, Bedside Headmaster, any episode of Red Diaries. There was one about this tennis star who was banging this dude, and then he did something dumb, so she banged some rando in the bathroom. It was hot. But I was a horny teenager, so.
Me too, man. Me too. Because I was male. I still am, but I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm not commenting on my horniness factor.
Yeah, it's 2069, A Sex Odyssey will live forever in my heart.
Jeff says Showtime After Dark. No, see, we always got Cinemax with the HBO bundle because those two came together. I don't know if we ever had Showtime growing up.
Yeah, Showtime, you couldn't see through the little lines, but Cinemax,
right.
Oh, that was the shit. Every now and then, Showtime, you might be able to get something, but Cinemax, there were days when you could almost see perfectly what was going on.
Yeah.
You could almost always hear it, at least.
Speaking of hearing, we need to have hearings on Joe Biden, I guess.
Yeah, think.
Well, that's what the Republicans are calling for, and the Democrats are like, no, how dare you?
Competency hearings, maybe.
We definitely need competency hearings. And you know what? The 20th is coming up fast. It's coming up real fast. So,
yeah, I'm guessing this is a convenient time to leak this stuff by your air quotes lawyers, because maybe he's getting a lot worse. I mean, have you seen him walking around lately?
Oh God, yeah.
And we've been watching like that fucking Easter Bunny directing him. He's gotten a lot worse since the campaign. And I think the Democrats are starting to catch on to that, even though he's their guy on their team.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the people that work with him one-on-one are starting to be like, look, this is dangerous now.
See, I still think it was the plan all along. If you look at the field coming out of 2020, none of them were electable. None of them. Their best bet was Bernie fucking Sanders, and he wasn't electable.
Yeah. Oh, I agree that. But I think they always had this as a contingency to out him, to boost him out of office if something went wrong or he got worse. And now he is a lot worse. So I don't know if that was always the intention. It probably was. But Kamala's a complete fucking train wreck too.
Sure.
So getting him out before now, pretty unrealistic because she's so bad. And he was still pretty manageable. But he's gotten so much obviously worse that even like the left-wing commentators have kind of called his competency into question. I think we're crossing the Rubicon on his ability to lead.
I don't think since he was running, he's had that ability, to be honest with you.
I don't either. But they can
I hear
cover
what
it
you're
up
saying.
Yeah.
I think they knew pretty early on in his run that this was a problem. And that's why, from the beginning, they were like, yeah, Kamala, especially after she drops out at the beginning of before there's even a vote cast.
Well, yeah, we were questioning his competency since really early on in the campaign.
Yeah.
But I think it's becoming to the point where they can't keep covering it and they can't get away with covering it because he's just too forgetful now.
I think Kamala also brings the ability to control, because Kamala's not going to be a renegade out there. She's going to say exactly what she's supposed to say. She already believes most of that shit anyway, so she's a better fit for him.
I think she'll crack under pressure, but she can serve out the last couple years, and they'll just have him resign or create enough scandal that he'll be forced out. I think we're getting to that point.
There's another possibility I'll bring up in a second. Dixie says, if I remember right, Biden said he was a professor at Penn State for a while after he left office. It was actually the University of Pennsylvania. He probably did say Penn State. And nobody can actually point to any professoring he did. He didn't do anything. He gave a couple of speeches.
Yeah, he never taught a class or anything.
Nope. No, the other one, I don't know if you saw this today, but the first lady is being treated for cancer right now.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, she had some lesions removed from her eyelid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and a couple of other places on her, skin cancer.
Oh, damn.
So the other thing that might be used to push him out is, hey, remember Bo? You don't want to miss any time with her.
Yeah. And vice versa, because he's probably going to die before her.
Speaking of which, I need to bring this up. I read a dumbass New York Times article today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Must
yeah.
be day ending and why? Now,
this one is exceptionally dumb. It purports to tell us the real story of Hunter and his laptop.
Yeah, I read that one, yeah.
Except what it actually does is verify everything everyone's been saying.
Yeah, but as a defense.
As a defense.
Stupidest fucking thing I've ever read.
Miles, thank you so very much. Hey, guys, thoughts on Gavin Newsom running? I don't have thoughts on him running. I think he's probably good for their party, bad for the presidency. Also, R.I.P. Diamond from the Trump supporting duo Diamond and Silk. Yeah, she died the other day. She died on the 8th.
Yeah, bummer.
And boy, did Lefty Twitter have a fun time dancing on
that
her
was
grave.
sick.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of really sick things coming out of that. I feel bad. She seemed like she was a nice person.
Yeah.
By all accounts, she was a pretty affable person. So pretty sick to stand on her grave like that.
They're all running around. Oh, she died of COVID. They haven't released what she died of. I mean, I had to guess, Jack, and I do because I don't know either. I'd actually guess cancer because if you look at her over the last year or so, she's lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And at her age, losing that much weight, that's like Al Sharpton weight, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know, and they haven't told us. But boy, these fucking disgusting pieces of shit. Heart attack, I think they still haven't released the thing, Peter. I was just reading this right before the show because Silk is out there threatening to sue a whole bunch of people who keep claiming it's COVID.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, good on her. All right.
Yeah, I feel bad for her. You got to deal with the media as well as grieving. That's not easy to do.
So the New York Times story, these are some of the things that they confirmed for us, is that Hunter spoke and met the Burisma liaisons at dinner, or Biden met with Hunter and them, met with Hunter's business partners in China, wrote to his son's business partners on White House letterhead, and met regularly with Hunter's business manager, who more than once would pay the bill for VP Biden. They pretty much, he doesn't know anything. He never talked to Hunter about his business. All of this is in the New York Times article, and all of it's like, no, there's nothing to see here. But my favorite part of it is at the very beginning, Jack, where they're telling us about Hunter and who Hunter is, you see? And they tell us that when his brother died, he descended into drugs and a whirlwind of debauchery. His brother died in 2015, May of 2015. He was kicked out of the Navy for again failing a drug test in 2014, February of 2014, in fact.
I explained this to you on Twitter. Obviously, Hunter has psychic powers, and he used his precognition to see in advance, so that's what started his drug habit ahead of time.
He knew what was coming. Now, in fairness, I mean, I think he was first diagnosed with the brain tumor in like 2011. Don't quote me on the date, but it was years and years. But he'd been fighting it off, and it wasn't until I want to say early May that they were like, yeah, this is it. But it's still a year after Hunter had been kicked out of the Navy for cocaine usage. And I love how they say cocaine usage when what they mean is crack.
Yeah. Obviously, he was part of the remote viewing program of MK Ultra.
Yeah.
That's the story Joe's going to concoct, I think.
The entirety of this story does nothing but verify everything that's been said. And they think, what? I don't understand. I don't know why you're so upset. Why would anybody think that there's anything wrong with this? I'm going to throw the link into chat for those of you who want to read the story yourselves, because I'm not reading this piece of shit. No. I read it earlier today, and I'm not doing it again.
This might have been something that's been sitting on deck for a while for just this occasion, like these documents. Like, sure. Okay, we're going to start the anti-Biden agenda now.
Well, I hear you on that, but I don't think that's what it is with Hunter. See, I think that they want Biden to go out his own way, and I think this is because the Republicans are actually in charge of Congress now.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah. I hear you, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not ruling out the possibility that this is some sort of part of a grander scheme of failsafe to get him out if they need to. I just think it's a possibility.
I mean, we know all of this stuff. We've known all of this stuff, and they're acting like it's brand new. All of this stuff was in the Biden laptop. That's where it all comes from. It's not a guess.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, now it's real. Fuck off. But you know what else? If by some chance Biden survives, which I honestly don't think he will, this gives them cover. Be like, we covered this 2 years ago, going into the next campaign. We covered this 2 years ago, guys. Why are you acting like it's a big deal now? Yeah, the New York Post covered it 2 fucking years ago, and you guys acted like it was a lie.
Yeah, they censored them too.
Called it Russian disinformation. 40, was it 40 or 50? I can't remember. Current and former Intel execs. Okay, that sounds like the company Intel. Intelligence community executives came out and said it looks like Russian disinformation when they all knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's the 2-year mark, and we were right from the beginning that they're going to let him serve 2 and hope to get Kamala in for 10.
Yeah, they'll get her in and lose in 2024, which would be funny as
Quite
shit.
likely. I don't think they'd put her up as the nominee.
I think they would if she's the president at the time, unless she decides not to.
I think she's going to snap under pressure, quite honestly.
Well, then they get to pick whoever they want.
Uh-huh.
Because if she becomes president, she gets to pick her new vice president. What did she? Oh, boys, he shit the bed. Did you see the whole airline thing today?
Oh, not only the airline thing, did you see the Amtrak thing, too?
No, I missed the Amtrak one.
Oh, yeah. There was Amtrak train got detoured because of a derailment, and it got stuck for 29 hours.
Oh, I did see that because some of the people called the police claiming that they were being held hostage.
Yeah, because they won't let them leave.
Yeah. Some of them actually thought it was a terrorist attack. Yeah, some funny shit.
Yeah, that was fucked up. I'd be pissed if I was somebody on that train.
Yeah, I only saw the headline about the people calling in. I didn't read the article to know why. So, yeah. No, the system that tracks plane movements and stuff went down today. Reportedly, Jack, because one guy moved one file to the wrong place.
Yeah, the system shouldn't be able to crash like that.
Oh no! You see, I don't know if you saw this. There's a new system coming in that we need that's gonna avoid these things by having redundancies.
Sure we are. It's just going to cost $10 billion, and some of that's going to go to Ukraine.
During routine maintenance, that's what they said.
Sure.
One engineer moved one file to the wrong place, and that caused all the issue.
He deleted that one labeled computer, didn't he?
Routine maintenance. You're fucking lying. Don't lie to me.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that in a few years or whatever, it's going to come out this was a terror attack?
I wouldn't be shocked, honestly.
I wouldn't either. And I wouldn't put it past the Russians because they have some of the best hackers on the planet. Let's face it.
Yep.
That this was some sort of ransomware attack or a DDoS or something, some kind of attack on our system, because these people do not know how to make systems independent of each other. And they figured out there's one central computer. They only had to fuck up one little thing, and the whole thing comes crashing down like the electrical grid in 2004.
I mean, this has been the same system for quite a while. It's a pretty old system. It's not like this has been a major issue over and over again. And look, I'm sorry, I've done computer maintenance before. Maybe I just don't know the kind of system they're working on. I've never seen any system maintenance where you had to move files. You do cleanup stuff, but you don't have to go in and manually move a file. I just do not believe this. I just don't.
No, the excuse makes no sense.
But Pete, did you see butt plug was trending on Twitter?
Not surprised.
Pete Buttigieg, it's not his fault, y'all. Anybody who looks at what's been going on with transportation in the United States since he took over and has any complaints, you're just a homophobe. I've been assured. Yep. I just moved one file. It just happened to be C into the trash can, right? Yeah. I don't know, man. It makes no sense. But there's a new system, you see, and it's one we need. And it's going to have redundancies built into it, which this one should have anyway.
You would think so, but here we are.
And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that just one file moved and the system was working and then just slowly it crashed. It took like a couple of hours for it to crash totally.
It's best not to look too closely at this, Monkey.
See, this is one of the reasons I hate computers, because people use it to explain stuff that makes no sense. Because people who don't know are just like, oh, well, it's those damned computers. The Unabomber was right.
Obviously. Look, it's a convenient excuse to cover for whoopsie, we fucked up.
Yeah,
it's almost
I hear
always
you.
the user, let's be honest.
Well, see, I honestly don't think it was the user here. I think you're right on it being a hack. It's probably, I don't know, Russian or Chinese. I think if it was Russians, they would come out and say immediately because, well, why wouldn't they when they're trying to start a war with Russia?
Yeah, that's fair. But
China doing it, on the other hand,
yeah,
that one we got to keep secret.
Yeah, mainly because they're funding half of Congress. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's an attack of some kind. I think even if it was the Russians, they may not want to cause panic, especially after the Southwest cancellations. They saw how much havoc and rage that came out with.
Mm-hmm.
So they might just keep it secret for the sake of keeping it secret.
Yeah, I mean, there's the panic part of that too. People finding out just how vulnerable it is.
I mean, look at what happened over COVID with like the toilet paper and now baby formula shortages.
Eggs, man. Fucking eggs.
Eggs, yeah, the skyrocketing prices and stuff. And then if they figure out this was some sort of easy hack that came about and it shut down all this stuff, people will be really angry at the government. And I think that might be what they're trying to avoid here.
I don't know if anger would even be it. I think it would be panic, honestly.
I do too, but anger will definitely be in there too.
Anger would probably come around just in time for the election.
Which would be what they're probably more concerned with, because let's face it, they don't actually care about the people that are affected. They care about themselves.
Let me get this real fast. Thank you, Frank. Biden will finish the year. Kamala will finish his term, then run for her 2 with Pete as her VP. Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like to me. I don't know if they're going to go with Pete. Pete is having
Pete's bad week.
Yeah, well, he's had a bad time since he's been in there. Going back to when he had his 2 months of maternity leave.
Paternity leave.
No, it was maternity leave. I'm fairly certain.
He's probably the bitch, let's be honest. Buttigieg is not qualified for the job he's got. I don't think he can handle VP or president.
Did you see what was it, U.S. Vets, I think it is? Because it was Boebert criticized him. And they came out, look, he is a Rhodes Scholar, and he was a mayor, and he was in Afghanistan. He can handle this. None of those things actually qualify him for the job as transportation secretary.
No, but getting out of the race so Biden could win did.
Yeah, it did. And so they gave him a cushy little job that for most people, you never even hear their name.
Yep.
You never hear about the transportation secretary.
When was the last time you knew the transportation secretary's name? And we follow this shit pretty regular.
I can actually answer this, but it's not because of anything transportation related. It was when it was Mitch McConnell's wife.
Oh.
And they went after her because she's Mitch McConnell's wife and working for Trump. And oh my God, that must mean something. I don't know what it meant, but there was a big blow up about it for a little while. Now, ask me about before that.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, no idea. Yeah, so it was a cushy job. I am shocked that Klobuchar didn't get one because she got the same call that he did, but he was doing better than she was.
He seems a little smarter than her, so he probably asked for a cabinet position, and she was just like, okay.
Oh, yeah, for those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, during the election, oh, wow, thank you so much, JB. Let's see if this works. Thanks for the entertainment. Half to Jack. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you.
Thanks, JB. Much appreciated.
Thank you. During the election, I get distracted so easily.
Who are you?
I know, right? During the election, Biden is doing okay, but there's no clear sign that he's going to be the winner. And he really needs the people that are not commies to drop out of the race, because if they stay in the race and they keep with the numbers that they're going to have, it's going to force a floor fight at the Democratic National Convention between him and Bernie.
Yeah.
And so Pete Buttigieg is flying, I forget from where. He's flying, I think, from South Bend down south somewhere. Halfway on the flight turns around and goes back home.
Yep.
And it turns out that the Biden campaign called him. That's as much as we know about the official story. The Biden campaign called him. They did the same thing to Amy Klobuchar, and both of them dropped out of the race the next day.
Yeah, and when Pete got put up for this job, it was pretty obvious. Quid pro Joe struck again.
Yeah, they put him into a place where he really has no kind of experience. It's like Hunter with Burisma. I mean, there's no reason for him to be in that position.
I bet that's where they got the idea.
Probably. We don't actually have a president. Only question is for how long has it been that way? Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean by that. If you're talking about Biden having no brain in his head, that would be since 2021. If you're talking about the fact that they all seem to just parrot the same shit over and over again, since 89. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, one of Reagan's biggest complaints against Bush when they were running against each other in 1980 was that he wasn't actually a conservative. And he wasn't. It's one of one of the things that woke me up to what politics really is, Jack, is how fucked up they were to George H.W. Bush. Whether you like him or not, the way that the press treated him was absolute trash.
Yeah.
From the fact that the recession that they kept preaching about up until Election Day had already ended, or the fact that they treated him like some Bible thumper when he wasn't. They treated him like the worst person ever. And Billy Boy, who'd been accused of things like rape, was treated like the second coming of Jesus. He was the first Jesus in politics in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Remember, first black president. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chad.
He lost his law license because of rape accusations.
This is a man that when he was in office, he was called the first black president. And then Obama runs for president and Hillary's running against him. And it got brought up that he was called the first black president. And suddenly it was racist. But it's your side who called him that.
Hey, fact.
I mean, it just proves that they're racist, but seriously. Yeah. So we had the second coming of the second coming, and now we have the third coming of the second coming of the second coming.
It's a lot of cum.
It's a lot of cum in there. Just ask Tara Reid. Now.
She means nothing to him.
She means nothing to me. You mean nothing to me with his Elizabeth Arden finger. Oh, that's gross.
Ew.
I didn't mean to take it back there. Yes, all right. What else do we have? Oh, let's talk about this shit. Where is that video? I know I got it from you.
I know I got it from you. That's always a great way to lead into bad trouble.
No. It's the Nadler video.
Oh, yeah. I was going to see if we were going to watch that one, but I forgot about it because he's a little evil hobbit.
I don't feel like that's nice. He's a little evil pile of shit.
Yeah, hobbit.
He's Chet is who he is. All right, we'll discuss what this is in a moment, but we're going to watch the video first. I'm going to do my best to let it play. Jack, I don't know why I say that. I don't want to lie to the audience.
Yeah, you're just lying to yourself.
I mean it every time I say it. I swear to God I do. If I had a lie detector on, it'd be, Monkey's not lying to you. But I still am.
Lie to yourself, not others.
The problem with this bill.
Is that coming through? Did I get this volume? Okay.
Is not that it makes anything, that it is not that it provides any new protections for infants.
It actually does. That was the whole point of the bill. But we'll get to what the bill is in a second.
The problem with this bill is that it endangers some infants by stating that that infant must immediately be brought to the hospital, where, depending on the circumstances, that may be the right thing to do for the health and survival of that infant, or it may not. That is the problem with this bill. it directs and mandates a certain medical care which may not be appropriate, which may be endanger the life of an infant in certain circumstances. That's why we oppose this bill.
All right. That sounds like a reasonable thing to be worried about, Jack. We want to make sure we're not endangering people unnecessarily, especially infants. The problem is the bill he's talking about is a bill that mandates that if a fetus makes it to infanthood, despite them trying to kill it, you can't just let it die. You have to save it. You have to take all life-saving measures possible.
What? You have to save a clump of cells that survived the coat hanger? What?
This is literally a bill to make it so that if a child survives an abortion, it has to be medically treated. You can't just be like, fuck it, let it die, a la Ralph Northam. We'll leave it on the table and discuss it.
Yeah, that's some Gosnell shit he's advocating for.
So what Jerry is arguing here is that taking an infant that they tried to kill to the emergency room to make sure it gets all proper medical treatment is dangerous for that child.
Yeah, it might survive.
It might survive, man.
This is some demonic shit, man. Look, I'm not a super religious person, but I already believed in evil, but I didn't realize just how prevalent evil has become in our society. This is some really screwed up logic that you think trying to save a child from dying is somehow wrong. This guy can go to hell.
Well, if you think he was bad, Nadler's about to introduce some ugly bitch. I forget her name. It'll say on the screen in a second.
Yeah.
Johnny says this is so disgusting. Oh, no. Hold on to your socks.
Buddy. It's going to get worse.
From Oregon, Ms. Bonamici.
Woman from Oregon is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill is extremist, dangerous, and unnecessary.
Extremist, dangerous, and unnecessary.
But now saving babies is dangerous. Dangerous.
Extremist because it would criminalize doctors with up to 5 years in prison and put them in fear of providing life-saving medically necessary procedures to those who are pregnant.
Medically necessary treatment to someone who's pregnant. That does not sound like carving a baby out.
Well, let's talk about what she said, though. It'll make doctors worried. The bill is to take care of the child if it lives. That has nothing to do with the mother at all. At that point, they already tried to give her the life-saving procedure. The one who needs the life-saving procedure at that point is the child. And she's saying it's dangerous to give life-saving treatment to a child.
Yeah. Look, doctors want to murder babies. It's just the way it is. They have a compulsive need, and you're depriving them of that.
Dangerous because the bill has no exceptions to protect the health of the patient and no exception
to protect the health of the patient. She means the woman, by the way, not the child.
Oh, the child's just a clump of cells, monkey.
So there's no they try this life of the mother shit all the time. The abortion's already happened, lady. They've already removed the baby. They just fucked it up and didn't kill it when they tried to. Which is a fucked up sentence to say, by the way.
Yeah, they're bad at murdering babies.
They're really bad at murdering kids. And there's no exception for the life of the patient. What? So if they save the baby, the mom is automatically murdered. Yeah, I told you guys this was getting worse than what Nadler said.
for cases where there is a serious fetal anomaly.
For the case where there's a serious fetal anomaly. You know, when the kid comes out retarded and you tried to kill it in the womb, it's dangerous not to kill it.
Yeah, this is some old school eugenics stuff. Also, alive would appear to fit that criteria too.
No. Look, if it's got a serious fetal anomaly,
Like being alive,
because it's no longer a fetus, it's out of the womb. They can't pull that shit anymore.
yeah. So it's an anomaly. Still
Craig
fetus.
says, serious fetal anomaly, like a heartbeat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I saw a whole bunch of people argue, hey, we don't need this. It's unnecessary. Okay, it's unnecessary. Why are you so against it?
Because they want to kill babies.
If it's so unnecessary, why is part of the argument that you won't be able to kill retarded kids out of the womb?
They really want to kill those retarded kids, Monkey.
They really do. Now, this vote happened today. It's never going to go anywhere in the Senate. So any of you who are worried that you won't be able to kill your retarded born children, don't worry. You can still.
Don't worry, the eugenics system's still in place.
But it did pass the House with 210 Democrats voting against it.
Shocker.
Only 2 Democrats voted that, yeah, we should not, or that, yes, we should give medical treatment to a kid we just tried to kill. And remember, at this point, it is a kid. It is a kid. It's a clump of... No. We're talking about out of the womb, it's alive. And all this says is you have to make sure that you do everything you can to give it the medical treatment it would need. The same, look, you have to give medical care to a criminal alien who comes into a ER, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. You can't turn them away if it's an emergency. This would be an emergency. Under federal law, you have to treat them. The thing is, if you tried to kill it as a fetus, then it's okay to just let it die. You've had Democrat politicians talk about this as though it's no big deal. We're going to set it on a table and let the mom decide what to do. That's what Ralph Northam said. We set it on the table and let the mom, and we have a discussion with mom about whether to kill it or not. That's what you were. No, I mean, that's what it sounds like because that's what we said, but you're not supposed to take it that way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Oh, sure, make tard killers sound like bad guys.
Right?
No, tard killers are definitely the good guys. You're right. My bad. I stand corrected. Over on the Streamlabs. Oh, this is a good time to remind you guys. Hit that like button, hit the Rumble button, and if you would, please consider donating Jack or myself. Link is at the top of your YouTube chat. Kaz1, thank you. It came out retarded and dangerous. I mean, future generations need TikTok stars, don't they?
Oh, God, that's a horrifying defense. I can see him using it.
He's not wrong. You know what? If they say, hey, Monkey, look, we need abortion because those people might be TikTok stars, I might start to go on their side.
Yeah, that would be a little bit of a tough one then.
I'd be like, oh, I still don't agree with it, but I can see where you're coming from.
I understand your perspective.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, that just fucking disgusted me, man. And this one guy, I have to show you these tweets. This is what actually why I saw the second clip, Jack, is this guy right down here, Michael J. Stern. I have no idea who he is. He's a USA Today opinion columnist. He said, see the brackets protecting born babies alive during failed abortions. So I scroll up here, and that's what it says. Protecting born babies during failed abortions is extremist, dangerous, and unnecessary. And down here, he goes, see the brackets? And he repeats it. That means it's not what the speaker said, but what the writer here, Greg Price, interprets the speaker as referring to. Want to bet he put a twist on things? He didn't. He literally didn't. He's literally talking about the bill that literally has that in its definition. In its description. That's what the bill's for. Do you think he's probably twisting it?
He could have watched the entire thing and judged for himself, but
you could have looked up what the vote was about, what the debate was about.
It's a debate.
It's a debate. You know, it wasn't debated. In fact, it's going to committee. Let me find that stupid piece of shit. I'll bring this up on your screen. Guys, this is a real thing. This is not some deep fake or anything. You can go look this up on congress.gov. Look up HRES 10 when you get there, and this is what it is. directing the Fine Arts Board to obtain a bust of President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky for display in the House of Representatives wings of the United States Capitol. Yeah.
Why are we putting that in the House of Representatives?
That's a good question. But if you read down further, down to where it says resolved, that the House of Representatives directs the Fine Arts Board to obtain a bust of President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky for display in a suitable permanent location in the House of Representatives wings of the United States Capitol.
Yeah.
JB, this is not a joke. This is real. And by the way, this was put into Congress. This resolution came from a Republican.
Yeah, because the bunch of the Republicans are a bunch of rhinos who are all willing to suck off Zelensky so they could go to war with Russia. It's disgusting how many of our elected officials really, really want to get involved in that war. But to do this, they're treating him like Lincoln.
Oh, yeah. Joe Wilson of South Carolina, he's the one that introduced this resolution. And it's been referred to the House Committee on House Administration. So, yeah, they're going to put the bust of a president of a different country in the people's house.
Remember when Obama sent the bust of Churchill back to Britain?
Yep.
And we're going to have this corrupt shitbag have a bust of him in our House of Representatives. It's disgusting.
Nancy went through and got rid of the pictures of former speakers, even though they were speakers. You don't have to like them, but they were speakers of the House. Get rid of those guys. We got to have Zelensky. Do you think it's just that he killed 13,000 of his own people? Do you think they really like internal war and the ability to kill people and shut down parties that you don't agree with?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they love that shit, actually.
They didn't talk about that when Zelensky was up at the House. He actually outlawed certain political parties. He outlawed certain media in Ukraine. Anyone who disagrees with him, actually.
Yeah, well, how dare you?
For democracy.
Yeah, for the sake of saving Ukraine.
And he has Nazis in his army.
Look, that's a hate fact. They're trying to clean that up, except they're really not.
They're not.
And look, they just have love for their country in their hearts, Monkey.
It's okay to even be on Ukraine's side and be like, we should help them more and not treat this guy like he's some fucking American hero. He's not. I mean, the what's what I'm looking for here? The hero worship of this little pissant. He's not a good person. He's not.
He's an incredibly bad person and highly corrupt.
Very corrupt.
And Pandora Papers proved that. But the Ukrainians must love him because he's bringing in billions of dollars to a dirt poor country.
Yeah, and I can't figure out why, to be honest.
I don't know. Everybody seems to want to get involved in this mess and drag us into a massive war. Which I do have an article about this from the Russians later on.
Cool. I had one more video I wanted to watch, and I can't tell if this is just my volume or this, so you're going to have to tell me if this is too loud. This is just to give you an example of your press, ladies and gentlemen, and how they operate and all the normal stuff that I always tell you about how much they suck, but it's such a great example of it. Cast One, thank you again. They talked about it. They said he was cutting off Russia dissenters and Nazis because Ukraine has Nazis and the U.S. could learn from necessary action. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're right. I should have said that if they did talk about it, because it didn't get very much air. Let's not pretend that every headline out there was like, he's got Nazis in his rank. It was always to defend it. And that's the stuff we should be doing here, Jack. We gotta get rid of the Nazis. All none of them.
Yeah, look, we have a lot of Nazis here that are super Nazis. But the Nazis in Ukraine, look, they're just misunderstood. They
Yeah,
don't really believe all that.
It ain't their fault. They were born that way. You see, if they would have let the doctors abort them.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Why is this ugly fucker on our screen?
Lawrence O'Donnell, because I just what this idiot says is just astounding. But I do need a sound check.
Kevin McCarthy.
That's fine.
All right.
Made a series of deals over the course of last week with the Republican members who did not want him to be Speaker in order to eventually get their votes or get them to not vote. Some of those deals were formalized in writing in a new package of rules that will govern the House of Representatives for the next 2 years that was passed by the Republicans tonight. And that package of rules guarantees that this version of the Republican House of Representatives will be the worst Republican House of Representatives in history.
This isn't even the part that I wanted you guys to see. I just love the hyperbole here. This guarantees it'll be the worst in history. There's very little in this rules package. You have a couple of things about certain votes that will happen. You have a couple of people going on the rules committee. You have a couple of people going on to other committees where they may not necessarily have the seniority to be on there yet.
Yeah.
But they're not like, they're going to be the last ones on the dais. They're the ones that get a talk last after everybody stopped watching. And it reinstates the rule that Nancy changed that had been in place pretty much the entirety of Congress about the ability to call a no confidence vote on the speaker.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not like they're, we're going to make it so it's okay to shoot people in the street. We're going to make it okay so you can kill babies. No, it's none of that shit. But he's so hyperbolic about this shit. It's going to be the worst ever. And like I said, we're not even at the dumbest part yet. Thank you. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. But he can play chopsticks with his dick.
The new rules guarantee that this will be the most irresponsible and reckless Republican House of Representatives in history.
Because they're going to have some votes, Jack.
Oh, how dare they? Those bastards having votes.
Votes that won't go anywhere because they'll never even be brought up for a floor vote in the Senate.
But it's the fact they're having a vote, monkey. The Republicans should be silenced.
The one thing they can do that the Senate can't stop them in is having some inquiries, which probably upsets old Larry here.
Yeah, well, they're not going to go anywhere then either because the Republicans are a bunch of pussies.
No, I hear you, but at least it'll be something. It should provide a lot of fun for this show.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you think you've seen them be irresponsible and reckless in the House before, you're going to see things you've never seen before.
Yeah, they're going to vote and have committee hearings.
Those bastards.
Bastards. They're going to have irresponsible committee meetings. That's what it'll be.
The Republicans have no real legislative agenda except to cut spending without ever specifying what the spending cuts will actually be.
Actually, they just voted to cut the 87,000 new IRS agents. So I hear you with the no agenda. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm okay with them not having agenda as long as the agenda is stop Biden. That's all I need, because I don't need much from my government. I need a lot less from my government. A lot less. Get the fuck out.
But they're from the government. They're here to help.
Yeah.
They have made it against the rules for the House to vote for a simple increase in the debt ceiling. As the House,
they made it against the rules to vote for a simple increase in the debt ceiling because it has to go along with cuts in spending so we can stop having increases in debt ceiling every fucking year, you retard.
Yeah, look, the money printer is tired. Accept that.
The most reckless are the people who are trying to be more fiscally responsible. And remember, they don't have any specific cuts. Here's my plan, ladies and gentlemen. Vote for me. We're going to start. We're going to take the entire budget and we're going to cut 10% off of everything, all of it. And then we are going to any DEI bullshit. All of that's gone. Things like the Department of Education. What else? There's several. I'm just cutting everything because most of it is unnecessary. Do you guys realize I think every state has a state Department of Education because it's supposed to be state run?
Yeah. And the Department of Education on the federal level is not that old.
No, and it shouldn't exist. And they sure as fuck shouldn't have body armor and automatic weapons.
Oh, fuck no.
Representatives has done throughout American history, thereby making it more likely than ever that we will finally find out just how much worldwide economic calamity and devastation ensues when the United States of America, for the first time in its history, hits its debt limit.
All right, we need to talk about what he just said there. Throughout history, we have increased the debt limit. Wrong. What we used to do is have to pay as we go.
Yeah.
That used to be a thing. You could not have this, we'll just keep spending and spending and spending and spending. No. That is a modern thing. That is a Rooseveltian thing. We used to have to actually get the taxes to pay for the stuff as we went. Go back and look. Do you remember what the debt was under Ronald Reagan? The debt, not the deficit.
It wasn't real high, as I recall.
If I remember, and somebody can correct me, it was like when he got into office, like $3 trillion.
I don't think it was that high.
It is 10 times higher than that over the course of 40 years. That's ridiculous. What is that? A 4,000% increase? Yeah.
Under Ronald Reagan, the federal debt held by the public nearly tripled from $738 billion to $2.1 trillion.
Okay, so it was at the end that we were getting closer, and it was only $2 trillion, not $3 trillion. So yeah, less than $1 trillion when he took over.
Which really makes it even worse because that number was lower than what you thought.
And now it is $32 trillion. But yeah, tell me again about it, Larry, you dumb fuck. We're still not at the part that I want you guys to see.
And defaults on its debt thanks to the Republican House of Representatives.
Nope. Still not the dumb part.
The decades of overprinting and spending sprees. It's not going to be this Congress's fault.
The Republicans absolutely have shared blame in how much we spend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
However, you don't get to sit here and put this all on the Republicans when all of this spending, the deficit spending, that's a Democrat thing. We picked that up with Roosevelt, you fucking moron. And then Keynesian economics comes along like, yeah, when everything's going to shit, you need to spend more money. What? That is a true economic principle. When the economy's shit, the government should spend a lot of money.
Yeah, and it dragged out the Great Depression in the U.S. for another 8 years until World War II started. Everybody else was starting to come out of their economic problems, but we kept pissing money away on these work programs that were just busy work.
It is the most accepted economic principle when it comes to federal finance.
Well, yeah, because it lets them do what they want.
Yep. All right.
Here is what the previous Democratic chairman of the House Rules Committee, Jim McGovern, had to say tonight about the new Republican rules of the House.
Here's what he had to say about the new Republican rules of the House. This is the stupid thing he said, by the way. I know it might seem hard to believe that that's the stupid part, given everything he said so far. But here's what the guy had to say about the new Republican rules of the House, Jack.
What I'm concerned about is not just what's written down here. I'm concerned by the backroom deals that Speaker McCarthy made with the Freedom Caucus in exchange for their votes. Like Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace said just this weekend, and I quote, "We don't have any idea what promises were made." Is this what the majority leader meant when he talked about a new day and transparency? You know, these rules are not a serious attempt at governing. They're essentially a ransom note to America from the extreme right. The same members of Congress who held this body hostage.
By the way, that's going to be the only thing he actually says about the rules. They're not actually rules. It's a ransom note. That's it. But I'm going to let him finish.
Last week are the ones who ran interference for the January 6th insurrectionists who tried to overturn a free and fair election.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. Thank you, Department of Education, who says, "We need the body armor and full auto toasters in case one of those bastards misgender us."
Yes.
You know what's sad is I can see that.
Let's let the bald guy finish.
And even the new Speaker of the House voted to overturn the 2020 elections. We couldn't even get a public acknowledgement from him on the 2-year anniversary of that horrific day, not even a tweet. It is clear that Republicans welcomed the election deniers into their ranks with open arms, and now they are reaping what they have sown. The insurrectionists are in charge.
So he built all that up so he can say, this is what the former chairman of the House Rules Committee said. And then the guy didn't really say anything about it. Instead, he went into more January 6th bullshit.
Like, he just needs to make it sound like he said something. He doesn't actually have to say anything of substance, Monkey. Just throw a random accusation out and be like, the press will cover me.
Thank you, Cast One. Wait, but Greece had austerity measures. Did the EU know this? We could have saved lives. Lives! I know. No, that's... I hear you. I hear you, but that's how governments are supposed to do it. But no, he gives this impassioned thing about how the Republicans, the most irresponsible in history, Jack, most in history. They haven't even really started their reign yet. But those rules pack, and look, I can prove it. This guy's going to talk, man. He used to chair the committee. And then all the guy really does it. The insurrectionists are in charge. It's called propaganda, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
You see, they're most irresponsible in history. Did you know they had insurrectionists in there?
What?
Remind me how many of the members of Congress joined the insurrection?
None.
None. All of them went into hiding.
But how many members of Congress supported bailing out rioters in places like Minneapolis, St. Paul,
several?
Waukesha? Yeah, including the vice president, by the way.
Bubba says January 6th. Did I mention January 6th? Because January 6th. Indeed. Every fucking day with these people. I hate to do this again, but we told you so. Republicans, conservatives, anybody who's not a Democrat, get it through your head. You do have to be on better behavior than they do.
Don't have to like it. Just got to do it.
Before January 6th, what did they have? Charlottesville.
Oh, scary word.
According to these idiots, only two things have ever happened in history: Charlottesville and January 6th.
And slavery.
Well, yeah, you're right, slavery. But that was a long time ago, and even though it was Democrats who mostly did it, you can't blame them.
No, they switched parties because of that Southern strategy.
Yeah. All right, what we got over here? Deflection. Biden wants your next airport visit to include a face scan. That's a huge threat to your freedom. Can Asians get face scanned? Did they ever fix that?
I don't know. Asians are immune to a lot of things, so if they channel their chi right, they might be okay.
Frosted says, and Gamergate. Gamergate is a smaller subsection. It's not your national news
yet.
You are right, though. You are right. Face scanning technology already abused by authoritarian states like China and Russia. Nuh-uh.
What?
No.
Yeah,
China's
properly applied.
China's good people.
They didn't do nothing.
In December, the U.S. Transportation Security Administration, the agency within Biden's Department of Homeland Security, acknowledged it has significantly expanded facial recognition technology at security checkpoints in airports across the United States. Hope you don't look like anybody.
Well, don't look guilty and you won't be treated guilty.
I remember one, I wish I could remember the case exactly. There was a guy who ended up going to prison for years and years and years, and he wasn't the guilty party. And he had been positively ID'd. And when you saw the guy who really did it, they could have been, if not twins, real close relations. So good luck to all y'all out there.
Yeah, no shit.
Under the expanded program, 16 of the nation's largest airports are now using face scans as a way to verify the identities of travelers, including in Atlanta, Boston, Denver, and Los Angeles. The TSA's initial test face recognition program started under the Trump administration in 2017. The system asks passengers to insert a photo identification into security kiosks and then look at the camera.
Insert it slowly and make your little O face.
After seconds, the machine uses artificial intelligence to compare the face scan with the ID. But that doesn't prove anything.
Doesn't matter. They want your face on record so they can track your movements easier.
If all they're comparing it to is your photo ID, and let's say you're a terrorist with a really well-made fake ID, it's just going to match your face.
I agree, but that's just the story they're giving us. That's not the legitimate reason. It's to track everybody's movements, and they have good shots of your face then. So if you're determined to be a wrong thinker and you try and go somewhere when your social credit score doesn't allow for such things, make no mistake, that sort of thing is coming. That's what they're doing in China with their social credit system, and they're trying that real hard here with the ESG program.
This is my favorite part. If a potential mismatch is identified, a human TSA agent will determine whether or not to deny access. Eventually, humans will be removed from the verification process altogether. So,
you really want the TSA agent in charge of that?
Well, the way we've always done ID is like, okay, here's my ID. Look at me. We've always done it with humans. And now they're saying that with this, even though there are mismatches, they're eventually going to get rid of people altogether to check it out. It'd be like, let's say you get a video taken down on YouTube and they're like, well, we'll have a human look at it. Yep, the system messed up. So we're going to get rid of all of the humans.
Yeah, then there's no mistakes. Obviously.
If the new program is deemed successful, TSA plans to expand it at airports nationwide. Yeah, this is a bad idea.
How could this go bad, Monkey? How? Where in the world would this ever go horribly, horribly wrong?
Well, let's see. It could be, and this is just theoretical, Jack. All right, just off top of my head.
Okay.
Let's say at some point they decide that you're not allowed to leave your home. I don't know, maybe pandemic or something.
Oh.
And you need to go to the store, and it is your day to go to the store, but you're misidentified as somebody else, and there's nobody to check it. And so you end up in prison over it.
Well, I mean, they would send you to a quarantine facility, I would think, because you may have just exposed people like a monster.
You also went out when you shouldn't have, and there's no way to say it's actually you and it's your turn because you were denied by the computer.
Denied appropriately because you're a fucking filthy monster.
Cats one, thank you. So we're spending $5 million plus per machine to replace a $30K TSA agent. Tammy sits there all day and does this already. Yes.
Yeah, you make it sound like it's a bad thing.
Yep. But don't worry. Over time, it's going to cost us more for those machines as they have to be fixed constantly.
Hey, fact.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting anybody does this, but I can see people getting tired of this shit and shoving like bubble gum up in those things.
Or just snapping. I mean, they're going to push people too far because we're not China. But apparently people will put up with a lot of this shit. So this is likely going to happen. Just accept it.
Do the TSA agents realize they're all about to lose their jobs?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, those of you who scan badges and stuff, you are losing your job. Good luck to you.
Maybe you'll still get to feel people up occasionally.
What if I grew a beard after my photo? I will say this, in fairness, my phone, I use the facial recognition technology on it to unlock my phone. I just have to look at it.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. It
doesn't matter how much I shave or not, and nobody else in my family can use it. It's only me. Although I will say this, Little Butt knows how to unlock my phone because it also has the digits in there in case the face doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like if it's too dark, it won't pick up. But Little Butt uses my phone to play games all the time, so she has my password memorized.
Yeah, I will never use the facial recognition to unlock my phone because the cops are allowed to take your picture so they can use it to unlock your phone. Whereas if you only have the number lock, they have to get a warrant.
No, I hear you.
Make them do the work, monkey. Make them do the work.
I hear you, but my phone doesn't have anything on it. It doesn't even have music on it.
Oh, you're boring.
I
have
am.
all kinds of like dumb shit on my phone. Like no music, but I have like photos and videos, pictures of products I want to buy.
I have pictures of the family and text messages. That's it. That's all I do with my phone. Oh, I mean, I send Snapchats, but those go away. So anyhow, Lightfoot campaign asks CPS teachers to encourage this is Chicago public schools, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Chicago public schools, you got to change the way you shorten your names.
Yeah.
All right. Lightfoot campaign asks CPS teachers to encourage students to help her win re-election. Help her win re-election in return for credit. I'm fairly certain that's illegal.
Pretty sure that's not only an ethics violation, but it's also illegal.
Wow. Mayor Lori Lightfoot's re-election campaign sent an email to Chicago public school teachers Wednesday asking them to encourage their students to volunteer to help Lightfoot win a second term as mayor and earn class credit. Okay,
quid pro quo.
I don't know about on the state level. If this was national, this would absolutely be a criminal offense. It's Chicago though, so it's probably legal.
It's Chicago, so it won't matter if it's legal.
It's unclear how many Chicago teachers received the email from Megan Crane, whose LinkedIn page identifies her as the deputy campaign manager for Lightfoot. The message was sent to teachers' official work email accounts. Wow.
Yeah.
Which end in cps.edu. The email says participants in the externship program. This is not an externship.
It's an externship because they're
it's
not.
Not.
It is if they say it is, right? That's how this works.
It's bribery.
No, it's an externship. That's what we're calling bribes now.
Externship program would be expected to contribute 12 hours per week for students. Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot of time for kids. All right. To the Lightfoot campaign, the students could earn class credit. We're simply looking for enthusiastic, curious.
Sounds like a dating ad, doesn't it?
They're looking for curious kids.
Are you an enthusiastic, curious kid who'd like to know some things? Call Lori Lightfoot.
Hardworking young people eager to help Mayor Lightfoot win this spring. All right. This is some dirty shit.
Yeah.
A spokesman for the Lightfoot campaign told WTTW News in an initial statement that the effort was designed, quote, to provide young people with the opportunity to engage with our campaign, learn more about the importance of civic engagement, and participate in the most American of processes done using publicly available contact information. What?
Nothing to see here.
After WTTW News published details about the emails, generating a wave of criticism from other candidates in the race, Lightfoot's campaign put out a second statement that said that the campaign would cease contact with CPS employees out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah, caution, not because it looks like you're corrupt as fuck.
Because you are using students to run your fucking door knocking campaigns.
Yeah, which, by the way, in Chicago, you're putting kids at risk.
Yeah, some of these kids are gonna get shot, and not just being on the playground.
Well, then you don't have to give them college credit, do you?
A Chicago Public Schools spokesman told WTTW News that, as a rule, the district does not coordinate with any political candidates or campaigns. Dude, there's an email.
Yeah, it's not a rule, but it's an exception we're willing to make for Lori Lightfoot.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone talking about this. I found the article by accident.
Chicago Teacher Union President Stacey Davis Gates told WTTW News, you don't have to keep saying that every time. Told us, all right?
Yeah, they do.
The campaign's action was unethical. Holy shit. A teachers union recognized unethical behavior?
Monkeys and typewriters, dude.
I guess. And that she was concerned teachers who declined to volunteer for the mayor's campaign or encourage their students to do so could face retaliation. Yeah, this is really gross.
It's incredibly gross.
I had a discussion with somebody the other day because they were like, a boss should not be telling their workers who they should vote for. You might not like it, but there's nothing illegal about a boss telling, hey, I want you guys all to vote for this guy, and if I find out you didn't, I'm going to fire you. Because it's private. These are people who actually work for the city. Who's in charge of the city again? The mayor.
The mob?
Well, yeah. But the mayor, she has, this is disgusting when it comes down time for like contracts and stuff. That's done with the city. This is coercive at best.
Yeah, it's the implication.
Yeah.
Like somebody just said in chat, it's so bad even the teachers union was like, hey, whoa, hey, a little too far.
When the teachers union is going, that's unethical, you should probably examine your priorities.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. How the Chicago Teachers Union, no doubt.
I mean, everybody's got their breaking point, I guess.
Oh, no. See, this isn't happening. I've been told this isn't happening, Jack. Governor Hochul quietly sneaks in proposal to ban sales of gas stoves, fuels outrage across New York.
What?
So,
see,
we just saw the Biden administration step on their dick and come out and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna regulate the whole gas stove thing and make it so you can't have them anymore." And then people said, "That's fucking stupid." And they went, "We never said that. Nobody's even proposing that anywhere. What are you talking about?"
It's not a real thing. You totally just made that up.
It's actually law in a couple of states already. It's true. We read about this 6 months, a year ago.
I don't remember.
Are they really trying to get rid of gas stoves? Yes, they are. They really are.
Yep.
But don't worry, because they got busted doing it and it blew up in their face. Give it about 5 years and it'll become a real thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it works.
I saw somebody talking about this. I told you guys yesterday when we brought this up that this is entirely about climate change. Exactly, Eagle. This is entirely about climate change. It's not how they're selling it right now. Right now, they're selling it as it'll make you cognitively impaired. You see nitrous oxide or nitrous dioxide, or is it it's NO2, right? So nitrous dioxide, if I'm saying it correctly. Fuck, some chemist out there tell me if I'm saying that right. NO2, anyway, instead of CO2. It's not the CO2 this time, you guys. It's the methane. and it can cause some seriously cognitive ability problems and things
It
and
makes
stuff.
bad thinking.
Hey, nuts. But Eric Swalwell told us today that they aren't coming for gas stoves. Is it possible he wasn't telling the truth? Not Eric.
I'd be shocked, because he's so fucking awesome.
O2 is dioxide. Yeah, I'm trying to. The N is nitrous, would be how you say it, right?
I don't know.
Or would you say nitrogen dioxide? I don't remember. I used to know this stuff, but I didn't care about it then, and it doesn't come up that often. So, anyhow, yeah, is it Colorado that already has it banned?
Probably.
Here's something
sounds like something they do.
Yeah, I want to say it's Colorado. I can't remember the other state. New York is trying to. Nitrogen dioxide. Thank you. Here's something that will leave a bad taste in people's mouths. Governor Hochul, who, by the way, got completely away with her sweetheart deals for her donors.
Yeah.
Snuck a proposal to outlaw new gas stoves into the New York housing compact she unveiled during her State of the State speech Tuesday. Is Biden going to do a State of the Union?
Who cares? I mean, I don't know. Probably not.
Urging people to ditch their kitchen gas grills and go electric. The ban, by the way, to save the environment, they're going to get rid of gas stoves and move you all to coal and natural gas power plants.
Yeah, which produces a ton of carbon.
And the electricity, the way electricity works, the further you get from the source, the less electricity is coming through the lines. So it takes more energy instead of just running the gas straight to the house. I don't use a gas stove. I'm not a fan of them myself, but if you're talking about the smarter way to do it for global warming impact, it would be gas stoves.
Your hate facts have no place in this agenda, sir.
Unless they're going to go with nuclear power. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Electric stoves suck. You just can't cook, bitch. That's my new thing. Anytime somebody tells me that gas is better, you just can't cook. Learn to cook and you'll be fine.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, it's really hard to boil that water. Drop the ramen packs in, wait for it to soften.
Ugh.
The ban would affect old timers and millennials who are obsessed with cast iron pans that are tricky to use on electric stoves. You know, I can cook fine, bitch. I keep hearing this. Cast iron stoves are just too hard on electric. I use them all the time. I don't understand what you people are doing wrong.
Cast iron makes great eggs, and it is better on gas stoves. Sorry.
Learn to cook, bitch.
Nope. You're not my mom. She tells me to learn to cook too, and I didn't listen to her. Why would I listen to you?
This is plain stupid, said a 70-year-old resident of Seagate, Brooklyn, who gave his name as Victor K. Like he might have been lying about it.
Yeah.
Instead of Victor K, 70-year-old resident of Seagate. No, who gave his name as Victor.
Oh,
lying.
Wonder what
lying
he
bastard.
was up to. Yeah. Clearly, he's got an electric or a gas stove hiding out in his house.
When we found him, he was applying Eden Arden on his lips. All right. We lost.
Throw back to the beginning of the show. Don't go back there. It's a trap.
It's a dangerous place to go. We lost electricity before during Hurricane Sandy. The only thing we had to heat up our food was gas. What if that happens again? That is one of the big advantages of gas. It really is, because if we lose power in my house, Jack, we have nothing.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe you should get some solar panels for that hurricane.
Yeah, they won't be ripped off your house or anything. That's not how hurricanes work. They just move right across them.
They'll just obscure the sun a little bit, and you'll be fine.
Secret Agent Victor K. I know, right? I just love how they wrote, who gave his name as Victor K. All right. Hochul's plan would ban gas stoves, hot water heaters. They're banning Now that would fuck me up, Jack, because we do have a gas hot water heater.
Yeah, so do I.
I
think. I don't know. I don't go in that room very often.
And oil furnaces in both new homes and commercial construction by the end of the decade. If gas stoves get banned, I want my house with a fire pit and a cast iron cauldron, one Twitter user joked.
Nothing.
Not right. Electric cooking is not the way. You guys are so angry about electric cooking.
Look, I don't mind cooking on electric or even induction. The problem I have is the government making these decisions for me so they can put us all on the electric grid and then have rolling brownouts and blackouts like they do in California because everybody's using the electric grid and it's a piece of shit grid that's been crumbling for 20 years.
Will you talk for a minute?
Yeah. Cold shoulders only, comrade. Yeah. And even worse, your social credit rating may determine how much electricity you're allowed to use because your carbon footprint may be too big. Remember, we did read an article about that, about how much your carbon footprint matters. So they're going to start individually monitoring people like they do in a certain country that everybody seems to look up to for some fucking reason. We need a surplus of electricity before we do anything like this. Yeah, but they want smart cars on the grid too. All this new electronic stuff is going to take up massive amounts of electricity that we cannot sustain. But they're getting you ready to lower your standard of living. They're going to tell you what you can and can't have. And then rolling blackouts and brownouts. Oh, it happens occasionally. Oh, supply chain issues. Oh, it happens occasionally. Maybe we're a little out of baby formula right now, but we'll fix it. And then they don't. The baby formula shortage is still going on. So is the feminine hygiene products. I haven't seen aluminum foil very much lately, by the way. But there are other things like the toilet paper run that we saw. They don't have solutions. They're just creating more problems. And if they're trying to get us used to lowering our standard of living, this is a good way to do it because they're going to create a lot of blackouts. Or the grid will collapse. Whatever. They jack up the price of electricity. No, they'll just shut you off from it.
If this comes to pass, the New York dining scene's goose could be or would be cooked as chefs would be unable to achieve the precise control they need to cook, said restaurateur James Malios. I've never looked at electric because it has never been able to do the same job. I've cooked with electric in outdoor markets like urban space, and it sucked. It takes forever, and people don't like the results. You can't char. I about dropped an N-bomb.
Wow.
Yes,
Look
you
at
can.
you, Mr. Grossly Racist.
You can absolutely char on a gas grill. Fuck off.
Not real char.
Not only can you char, if you're having problems with getting a char, you can sear it.
You want to char, you do it over coal.
Yeah.
Charcoal's best.
mRNA vaccines in livestock and companion animals are here now. Does that make it horse dewormer?
No, but if you didn't take the vax, you're getting it either way. They're gonna get that mRNA in you one way or another. Reptilians.
Look, I think we've seen from the COVID vaccine, especially the new stuff. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but most hospitalizations are coming from people who've had at least 2 boosters.
Yeah.
At least 2, and it's 3.8% compared to 1.7 if you've only had 1 booster. Yeah, it's time to close the door on mRNA. It just is. It wasn't working before. It's obviously not working now.
Yeah, maybe somewhere down the line they could get it working properly, but I don't trust them right now.
Go ahead.
The fact they want to inject our food with this, I don't like that.
Before we can discuss mRNA vaccines for livestock, pets, and wildlife, we must first address the elephant in the room. That is, how come the public is able to access human clinical trial information but is not able to do the same for clinical trials involving animal health? Well, okay. I'm gonna help you out here. Because they all failed. mRNA is not new. This has been around for decades, and they've been trying to make it work for decades. And when it first came out, they threw a shit ton of money at it because it, on paper, Jack, it's a great thing. We don't have to actually get the viruses and don't have to incubate them in eggs, which is where most vaccines are made. You can just make it out of thin air. Sounds great. Hasn't worked. Thank you, Cast One. Hear me out. A shearing competition, but deworming. Fair enough. Just got to reach up
where your head's at.
During the early days of the AIDS epidemic, you know what? What was the first AIDS drug? ATZ or something like that?
Something like that.
Do you remember that? I didn't even realize I hadn't heard of it in forever until the other day when I read a story about how useless it was.
Yeah.
And how they actually had to admit that it was a bad idea to ever push that on people. That sounds familiar.
A little bit.
The AIDS community demanded public access to clinical trials. In 1988, the U.S. Congress passed the Health Omnibus Program Extension Act of 1988, which mandated the development of a database of AIDS clinical trial information services. This congressional act motivated other nonprofit disease-related groups to demand access also. All right, you don't, okay. I don't know where this is going, Jack, but in all seriousness, you do not want to have drug information like that, the clinical trials, from animals. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we're not animals, and sometimes shit that doesn't work for them actually still does for us.
Yeah, and sometimes the other way around.
Yeah. Look, in the other way around, it makes sense, you know?
Yeah. You remember that drug they were testing on mice, but it ended up thinking it didn't work, but then it worked because humans have something slightly different in their brain.
Yep.
That they didn't realize. Yeah. So animals are not the end all be all.
And I understand what they're getting at with wanting the animal results.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we live in a society where even the slightest thing you could have people who should go get treatment not go get it. And I'm not talking about mRNA, guys. I'm just talking treatment in general. Not go get it because they read online somewhere that it didn't work in zebras. So it's just a scam. Not everything is a scam. Some medicine actually does work. Some. The penicillin family has done wonders for humanity.
Yeah, true.
The Food and Drug Administration Modernization Act of 1977 amended the Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act and the Public Health Service Act to require that NIH create a publicly available clinical trials database. This eventually led to the development of the website clinicaltrials.gov. This allowed tracking of drug efficacy. Fuck that word.
Efficacy.
Studies resulting from approved... Look, man, once my brain doesn't have it, it doesn't have it.
I know. I just like correcting you sometimes.
Resulting from approved investigational new drugs, including vaccines. The law requires from Wiki... Really?
Yeah.
You didn't go look up the law? All right. Fuck it. Federal and private funded clinical trials, the purpose of each experimental drug, subject eligibility criteria to participate in the clinical trial, the location of clinical trial sites being used, a point of contact for patients interested in enrolling, and the National Library of Medicine and the National Institute of Health to host the public website /database. By the way, one of my former clients held the federal contract to support clinicaltrials.gov and PubMed. I've spent time in the back rooms of the NLM and do know a fair amount about these things. That's irrelevant to what you're talking about.
This guy is an actual doctor, like a practicing doctor, not a
No, I hear you, but
yeah, no, I was just pointing that out because that's how he knows all this stuff.
one of my clients did something that doesn't matter.
Nah, not to anybody else. No.
I once knew a guy who did a thing.
What? Some people did something once.
Anyway, this is so far much wordier than it needs to be for that title.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to skip down. With animals, there's no such database. mRNA. Damn it.
Ernie? Rubber ducky, you're the one.
mRNA vaccines in the animal health or veterinary markets are difficult to track until the company or the USDA is ready to release information on that product developed or released. The USDA and or the NIH have no mechanisms for tracking potential new vaccines, drugs, or biologicals for the animal market. Oh, okay.
They're going to hide this shit like it's the JFK files.
Where's the part about them putting it into animals though?
Well, that's just the thing. They can't track. So they're putting it in moo cows. I mean, hypothetically, if you want to get conspiratorial, maybe it wasn't an avian flu that killed a bunch of chickens, but they all died of myocarditis.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this into chat if you guys want to read the rest of that. Again, I don't necessarily think that all of that, and especially if it's just for the animals, necessarily that as humans we need to be privy. But good.
I'm more worried that it might carry over through the food into people.
Fair enough.
That's what my concern would be. I thought it was interesting enough that we should discuss it because this doesn't seem to be getting a lot of traction anywhere else.
Oh yeah, and it's most of my irritation with that article is just how it's written.
Yeah,
that dude puts in a lot more stuff than is necessary for what he's trying to talk about.
Yeah, some people like being verbose, though.
It's a look how smart I am kind of thing.
Well, I mean, when you're super smart and you know it, and you know how amazing you are, you got to tell the world.
What is the name of that college? This story just reminded me of it. Hang on.
I don't know.
There was a college somewhere where they fired a teacher. We haven't talked about it on this show.
Yeah, it's West Virginia somewhere. I got the article on the queue. We just never got to it. Hang on. Let me find it.
I just had it earlier today. Did I only respond to it? Or sorry, my cousin?
Hang on. I got it saved.
Well, unless it's from today, there's an update.
Oh, really?
Hamline University.
Yeah, Hamline.
Thank you, Frosty Glass. I sure am amazing. I've heard that about you. I think you told me.
Yeah, I've heard that from the show called The Corner.
So Hamline University, they had a teacher there who, during an art class, there's a art history class that she taught. She's an adjunct professor. And she showed a picture of Muhammad. Dun, 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 dun. And a Muslim student got pissed off, and then it was reported that she was fired.
Yeah. I read this article on my stream a few days ago, and the students had been warned in the syllabus and before she showed the image so that people had time to leave. So this was not a surprise, but it was a gotcha by that student.
She didn't do anything wrong. It was an art piece in an art history class, and the only people who have to avoid that stuff of showing images of Muhammad are Muslims.
Yeah. But no,
as far as I know, it's not even against the rules for them to see one. They just can't depict it themselves or show it themselves.
Yeah, it's considered like gauche, but the more extremist elements consider it to be an affront. You're not just insulting them; it's the same as like misgendering a SJW. That's how they see it. It's a direct challenge. But those are usually very extreme people.
And wait, we need to discuss this because this didn't become an issue until a very particular cartoon was drawn.
Yes.
Back in the day, I don't know if it's still available unless you buy the DVDs, but there's an old episode of South Park called The Super Best Friends where they have Muhammad. Nobody said shit.
Yep.
Not a fucking thing. And then this cartoon comes out where it's a picture of Muhammad with a bomb as the back of his head.
Yep. Was that Charlie Hebdo?
Charlie Hebdo, yep. And suddenly it became nobody can ever draw Muhammad ever, ever, ever.
Because you're offending Muslims, it makes you Islamophobic, which is the exact thing they used here is Islamophobia.
And that's what the whole thing started over. There was never an issue before that, ever.
Yep. Because we have freedom of speech and expression, and if you can do piss Christ, you should be able to draw Muhammad.
Yes.
But we can't do that anymore because certain people are more important than others.
And yeah, Mick, South Park does another episode with Muhammad, and Comedy Central put a black bar over him.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to get Splody McBoom Boom all upset because he goes Splody McBoom Boom.
And then a few years later, some Muslim extremists shot up Charlie Hebdo. They're not terrorists or anything. How dare you suggest they might be? And they killed people for a cartoon.
Yeah.
Some of which they weren't even involved with.
Yep. They were just people that worked there got killed because somebody else did it.
And so now we have teachers, professors at a college having to tell kids, hey, you might see a picture of Muhammad in here in an art class. That's where we're at, okay? So it's reported that she's fired, but Jack, she wasn't fired. I'm going to put the link into chat. I will bring this up on the screen, but it is really hard to read because this guy only cut it into two pieces.
Oh, yeah.
This is a statement from is it the president of the university? Yeah, she's the president of the university. And she has some stuff to say. Now, this teacher wasn't fired, you see. That's not what happened.
She was just let go.
What happened was she's an adjunct professor, and at this college, it's on a semester by semester basis. So you don't have like, okay, I am the art history teacher at this school. You are I teach this class until they don't want me to teach this class anymore.
Yeah.
Her contract was up and they didn't renew it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my favorite part. It's down at the bottom of this. To suggest that the university does not respect academic freedom is absurd on its face. Hamline is a liberal arts institution, the oldest in Minnesota, the first to admit women, and now led by a woman of color. To deny the precepts upon which academic freedom is based would be to undermine our foundational principles. You see, guys, they don't shut down academic freedom because they have women and a black woman running it.
Yeah, they just shut down any depiction of something that make Splody Boom Boom very upset because progressivism.
This is her defense of them being academically free. They're teachers to be able to go in and teach what they want to teach.
Hey, if Karine Jean-Pierre can make the defense of we have top people on it, she's black and gay.
Oh, Eagle, you're right. There was never any female fascists. We don't have any proof of that ever.
Women can't be. They're
nope.
They're just amazing creatures. They're not capable of sin or bad thoughts or malicious conduct at all.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about that story, but yeah, the bitch is doubling down because she's gotten a lot of pushback from this. Amazingly, she's even gotten a lot from the left side of the aisle because you can't really be going out there saying we need freedom of expression for children to read books about naked people in 12th or in third grade and be like, no, we can't show a picture of Muhammad in a fucking art class.
Yeah, well, he liked him slightly older than that.
Not much. Because third grade would be 8. Yeah, so he liked him a year older. 365 days older, and he's there. The whole notion, though, that this is a liberal arts college. She's teaching an art history class. She didn't come out and say, Jack, that, yeah, there weren't enough kids signing up for the class. She didn't give any reason why they stopped that class.
Mm-hmm.
Other than one, academic freedom. The second part of that, if you click on the tweet that I shared there, the second half of it is her explaining that, look, we believe in academic freedom, right? But with academic freedom comes responsibility to the students. You see, you got to be careful of the students' feelings. And I'm not making it up. That's a little paraphrase, but not by much. You have to be very careful in your academic freedom because of the students' feelings.
Can we please get away from worrying about everybody's feelings and get back to teaching them?
No, women are in charge, man. Feelings are the most important thing.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Sorry.
And sorry, no offense to the women in here. I know we got a lot of great women who watch this show, but that's what it is. Look, right now, okay, I'm gonna take this down for just a second. Right now, there's a fight starting in the Republican Party, Jack, because there are women in the Republican Party who, because of their feelings, and I'm using stuff that they've written and said, think you should calm down on being against abortion.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a growing number of Republican women speaking up about how Republicans, y'all need to stop being so anti-abortion.
No.
Yep. And it is Republican women. Women, I love you guys, but shut up. Or, you know what would be better? If you smart ones would speak louder. If you smart ones would speak just a little louder and tell these bitches to shut up, because they're not listening to the men because we're just misogynists when we say it.
Well, clearly.
Big Dro says, hey, my mother's a woman. Look, I have a lot of respect for a lot of women. Just most of them aren't on the public stage.
Yeah, I'm not going to commit that far.
When you have people actually addressing this as medically necessary things for what, shut up, just shut up. And yeah, you're seeing it start to pop up in the Republican Party amongst their women's.
It's because they're Democrat light. That's why.
Harvard Medical School this is what reminded me of the other story. Harvard Medical School offers course about healthcare for.
You didn't read that far in the headline, did you?
I just read Harvard Medical School and it reminded me of college.
You're welcome.
I don't want to read that.
I know.
Harvard Medical School offers course about healthcare for LGBTQIA plus infants.
Yeah, this is one I was actually on the fence about putting in here today, but I think this is actually very important to talk about. This is Harvard Medical. This isn't like Podunka State University.
TQIA plus infants. How you know that the infant is gay?
Well, you see the babies where you're like, are you gay? Are you a gay baby? And they're like, hee hee. And you're like, oh, that's a gay baby. Time to cut his wiener off.
Does he cry with a lisp?
Yes.
With a curriculum offering lessons in areas including OBGYN, pediatrics, and plastic surgery.
Yep. They're going to continue to butcher children.
Hang on. We got to back that up. Plastic surgery for gay babies.
Yeah, well, they got to do gender reassignment. They have to fix these broken babies, monkey.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy.
Oh, it gets worse.
Bullet points, or should we jump down?
I would actually do the article on this one. But like I said, this is up to you because I was a little on the fence about putting it in.
Medical students at Harvard. Oh God, this hurts so bad.
Yeah, I know.
Is it a coincidence that this starts when Brian Stelter is there?
I rule nothing out, but I don't think his candy van has left campus in a while.
I think that's too coincidental. Suddenly we got gay babies and Brian Stelter's there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and the potato to baby ratio is very uneven. I can't even say that without laughing.
Medical students at Harvard are being taught how to kick. If it sounds like I'm pained, seriously, this fucking hurts my head.
Yeah, but I'm distracting you from your spinal injury, right?
A little bit. Yeah, you are.
Sorry, everybody. This one's going to be rough.
Medical students at Harvard are being taught how to care for infant patients. No, I can't read that fucking sentence.
You want me to do it?
Taught how to care for infant patients who identify as LGBTQIA+.
Yep.
How the fuck does an infant, a baby, can't even hold their goddamn head up, but they're identifying as LGBT alphabet?
I believe the phrase is Munchausen by proxy.
This is according to a public available course description. Students at the school, considered one of the foremost medical schools in the world, well, it used to be.
Yeah, until 5 minutes ago.
Will be given clinical exposure, and education will focus on serving gender and sexual minority people across the lifespan, from infants to older adults. In Western medicine, infant is considered from birth to 12 months old. All right.
I'm offended that we had to go to the fucking Daily Mail to find this out. It's not even a U.S. newspaper.
According to the description, for caring for patients with diverse sexual orientations, gender identity, and sexual development, sex development, I'm sorry. Students will work in both hospitals and communities with LGBTQIA plus youth. Among the hospitals involved in the program, Boston Children's Hospital. Who didn't see that coming?
Right?
Home to the first pediatric and adolescent transgender health program in the United States. The directors of the program are Dr. Alex Kevorkian and Dr. Alberto Pig. I think that's how you pronounce those.
That sounds right.
Students will work in areas of adolescent medicine. I mean, I guess drugging kids with stuff they don't need is medicine.
I suppose there is medication involved.
Not the proper use of medication.
Oh, neither is eugenics, but hey, here we are.
Endocrinology, family practice, infectious disease, OBGYN, pediatrics, psychiatry, psychology, primary medical care, and plastic surgery. In addition, students learn about advocacy with regards to LGBTQIA plus issues. That's not what doctors are for.
No, but a lot of these, look, they're covering an entire series of different fields here.
Yep.
That are going to get indoctrinated. This is horrific on so many levels.
Speaking about the course to College Fix, the ethicist at the Ethics and Public Policy Center, Nathaniel, excuse me, I have the hiccups. 1 second, I can do this. Nathaniel Blake said, Harvard medical students should be taught the basic scientific truth that a man cannot become a woman or vice versa.
Oh,
Fair.
He's going to get canceled.
He added, those experiencing psychological distress regarding their biological sex need to be treated with compassion, which does not mean subjecting them to dangerous chemical and surgical treatments to mold them into a facsimile of the opposite sex.
Oh, hey, somebody isn't thinking of the long-term amount of money they can make here.
Do you remember back in the olden days when a whole bunch of asylums, I guess is the best word, would do experiments on mentally ill people.
Yes, we're doing that now again. It's just
Yeah.
doesn't involve lobotomies, and Dr. Frankenstein is widely recognized as a genius.
Yeah, we got rid of the electroshock and just started cutting off wieners.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it lost its thrill, I guess.
In an interview with the New York Times in January 2022, one of the program's directors, Alex Kevorkian, that is not his name. You guys look on the screen if you care. Fuck this guy, all right? Fuck this guy. Argued against medical health screening for transgender people.
No, you read that wrong. Sorry, mental health screening.
Oh, what did I say?
You said medical.
Oh, mental health. I meant I read it right in my head. I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
He argued against mental health screening for transgender people, and he's in charge of this program. Him and that other douchebag.
Look, Jack, they've declared that dysphoria is not actually a thing you really need to worry about anymore.
No, there's too much money to be made from this. I mean,
I'm really not a believer in requiring that for people. Being trans isn't a mental health problem. It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, this guy's in charge of this program that they're dealing with a hospital, or actually 2 hospitals, and Harvard University students.
How can we see that low self-esteem is a mental health issue, but not hating your body to the point you want to mutilate it?
I don't know, but this is going to get a lot of really temporarily confused people down a very dark road, and people that actually need the psychology or the psychiatry help for their dysphoria are not going to get the help. They're just going to butcher their bodies and say you're fixed and send you packing because they don't care about the mental state anymore.
During the same interview, I'm going to try to say it once, Karoglian said, that just sounds like a German who's trying to cut you up.
Yeah, it's a very German sounding name. Like, it might as well just be Mengele.
During the same interview, Hitler said that mental health screening is not necessary for nose jobs, breast augmentation, or hysterectomies. Oh my God. Hysterectomies are not done just because a woman's like, I hate having a hysterectomy or
uterus.
No, I was gonna say period, because that would be the main reason to get one, or I want birth control.
Yeah,
it's not just done on a whim. They're typically done because of medically necessary things. I told you about my one friend. She had ridiculous cysts all over her, and she was in pain probably half the month. And when she got her period, when she had it going on, that poor girl would actually stand there and cry. I'm like, go sit down. I got this. Just go sit over there. So they scooped her out because she had a medical reason to do so. It wasn't, I just feel like my uterus isn't really who I am. You fucking dick. I'm going to get mad at the end of this.
Yeah, well, you should be.
Dr. Alberto Puig, a native of Spain and graduate of, he's from the Europe where the Hitler was.
Uh-huh.
And graduate of Baylor's Medical School, has been working on the design and content of Harvard Medical School's curriculum since 2015, according to his profile on Mass General's website. Profile says that over the course of his career, Puig has received over 20 teaching awards. I don't give a shit. I don't care how good you are before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If somebody's let's say, this comes up all the time, a highly decorated veteran, great, goes out and slaughters his own family, not so great.
Or works in Congress.
Works in Congress, yeah.
One-eyed McCain.
In October 2022, the Boston Children's Hospital, which is affiliated with the Harvard program, oh God, no, suggested some, didn't we read this article? Suggested some babies know they're transgender from the womb. Didn't we watch that?
We probably did, actually.
Excuse me. In a now deleted video, the Boston Children's Hospital suggested an even larger number of minors known as, as soon as they can talk. Yeah, we did watch that video.
I was thinking we did.
Yep, like they know from the womb, and because it was that one ugly bitch with the glasses. I can see her face.
Yeah. Sadly, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of her name.
It was the one video that set all of this off with Boston Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that never happened. Unfortunately, they had deleted it from social media, but not from the website yet.
Yeah.
And so many of us were still able to see it.
Well, apparently nobody paid that close of attention to Dr. Alberto here because he's now in charge of educating a whole bunch of Harvard students.
Hospital also faces claims it rushed under 18s into life-altering sex change surgery. And once again, we need to bring this up. There's very little evidence of bottom surgery. And they keep telling us we don't do it on anyone under 18. Not true. Their website even said 17. Yeah. But they are absolutely cutting the titties off young girls.
And they have said, I don't know if it was Boston Children's, but there have been doctors that said they've done it on kids as young as 14.
The lowest I've seen is 12.
Yeah, see, this stuff gets worse and worse every time we find it.
And you know what? Right now, it does seem like it is a small amount of doctors. It's too many.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's one. It's too many.
Well, and the fact that it's educators now, that means they're going to brainwash some other new doctors into this nonsense.
If you guys have never seen Matt Walsh's video, What is a Woman? At least go find the parts where he's talking to that old lady in the blue dress with the glasses on. She's got glasses, curly hair, and a blue dress. I don't remember her name. Just watch those parts. She's a children's psychologist, and it is one of the fact that that woman has anything to do with kids is scary as shit.
Yeah.
The clip posted to the Boston Children's Hospital official YouTube page in August, psychologist Dr. Carrie McGregor explains the type of patients she sees. So most of the patients we have in the clinic actually know their gender, usually around the age of puberty. But a good portion of children do know as early as seemingly from the womb. And they will usually express their gender identity as very young children. You don't know, even if you're fucking a straight arrow cis, you do not know that from the womb because your brain is a blank fucking slate. You don't even know what your dick is at that point. But you know it's not supposed to be on your body, really? Shut the fuck up. I can't read the rest of this. There's not much more. I can't read the rest of this shit. Fuck these people.
It's just going over the website and video. You got all the key parts. But yeah, like I said, I was a little hesitant to put this one in the queue today, but it pissed me off enough that I was like, we should talk about this. Because these people are educating some of the supposed best and brightest at Harvard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the top medical schools in the country.
Yeah, in the world. And
in the world.
This is wildly dangerous to be brainwashing some of our supposed best with this nonsense.
Keldred asks, how can an infant possibly fucking know that? They can't. As Jack said earlier, Munchausen's. This is mommy knowing that boy is actually a girl.
Yeah. And these doctors going along with it because they get big piles of money.
Thank you, Snubbers. They're about to deserve oppression, I guess.
Telling you, man, you keep messing with people's kids, it's not going to end well. And
go ahead.
I just don't understand what the hell they're thinking by pushing this nonsense that is clearly not true.
The problem with what you're saying there, and I agree with you that messing with people's kids is an issue, is that they're teaching these people that this is what they need to do for their kids. Remember, one of the biggest talking points about letting your kid do this is if you don't, there's a high suicide rate. They never tell them about the high suicide rate after transitioning. That never comes up.
Got your money, so they don't care about that one.
Well, if you cared about your kid, you'd cut off their titties. You'd have him chop that wang right off.
Scaring people is really, really unethical, first of all. And second of all, I have so many problems with this.
Well, I get what you're saying. They're This is what is preached on the nightly news. This is what's preached
Yeah.
anytime this comes up. Oh my God, if you don't let them do it, they're going to die. They're going to die. They're going to die. If you let them do it, there's a good chance that they still will. That suicide rate pre and post is pretty even. It's like 41 pre and 40 post.
Yeah.
Or at least last time we had the numbers.
Well, and that's not even factoring in the fact that when they did those studies, there was more psychological help that they're slowly getting away from now.
Yeah,
we're going to see higher numbers on that.
Yeah, we just saw that doctor. Oh, you don't need a medical screening to do this.
Yeah. You're telling me those kids won't regret this in 10 years?
You're in distress to the point you hate your own body. What could go wrong with mutilating it?
Yeah. But I have a feeling the numbers are going to be softened the same way the unemployment statistics are.
They already have been, actually.
Yeah, well,
real quick. Let me grab this. Cast one, thank you. So gender identity is predetermined and a medical thing. Well, I don't know that it's predetermined because remember, it's from the womb. That could be right as they pop out or while they're still in there. She wasn't a smart cookie, so she didn't tell us, but maybe
it's predetermined in the way they need it to be.
Gender identity is predetermined and a medical thing. Aspects of the mind are genetic. So given the variety in DNA, perhaps we can use this approach to figure out why some ethnic groups, we argued against this shit for a reason. Yeah. No. It's nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense.
It's about for the doctors, this is about money. For the parents, this is about either their Munchausen syndrome or trying to get they're trying to keep their kids safe and they're misguided.
JBS.
Sometimes a little both.
JBS, how can Hunter defend this seriously? Because ever since his wife got a boyfriend, he's become a bitch.
Yeah.
Because that's the argument. I've seen him argue this, but it doesn't hurt anybody else. And look, the suicide rate is so high, and you're damaging these people. No, you're not. If you are not addressing the underlying mental problems there, I'm going to explain this just one more. Well, I'll probably do it many times, but one more time here. You cannot feel like something you've never been. The best you can do is fill your mind with what you think it is. So you can't actually feel like a woman as a man or feel like a man as a woman. You can't, because you've never been a man to know what that is as a woman. And for these people who literally hate their bodies, we're not talking about the trans trenders who do still exist, who just dress up like that idiot we saw yesterday who was telling us, blessed all the blessed. That's just a fucking weirdo who wants to dress weird and have people clap him on the back for it.
Mm-hmm.
But people who have actual dysphoria, this is hating your body to the point where you want to get rid of it. That is not normal. We're not talking about having a goiter. We're not talking about a mole that's in a bad position. We're talking about wanting to chop off your genitals to change the very way we propagate the species, basically putting an end to your own birth line.
Yeah, it's not normal. And those people need help. I'm not opposed to people with dysphoria getting help.
No.
I'm opposed to butchering kids that are confused.
Yep. And look, you want to make, okay, it's fine. I don't care. I don't care what a grown-ass adult does. It's your body, do it. But stop. It's just like fat people. Stop pushing it on others.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make it normal. It's not. If you're okay with it, by all means, great. But stop pushing it on kids and stop pushing it on other people as though it's something that should be happening. It is not normal. Oh, it's happened throughout society because Indians had something called two-spirit pussies. They didn't have a word for pussy.
Yeah, bad hunters. Hey, real quick. Thank you, Frosted Glass. It says, my mom had to get a hysterectomy to avoid cancer, and now these butchers are passing them out to disturb children like it's a goddamn ear piercing. Fuck these people. They should be on a war criminal list waiting to find out which circle of hell is theirs.
Yep.
I don't disagree. Hysterectomy is a major choice for a lot of women. And, you have cancer, various other things could go wrong. I know several women that have had to have hysterectomy for various reasons, and it's really upsetting to most women because they know they can't have kids anymore. That's a biological function that women are hardwired for, and you're taking that out of them. If you think that doesn't fuck people up, you haven't really thought this through. So
Thank you. Oh, keep going.
No, I just think that a lot of the people that are getting these procedures as children are going to at some point want to have a family, and now they can't ever.
Real quick, this is Kyle. Thank you. It's a mental disorder, and I'm tired of trenders treating it like a fashion statement. Not just trenders, everybody these days is. I hear you, I do, but it's fucking.
Yeah.
The trenders are bad, but what we should have done is ignored them, like we've done with every other fashion trend from teenagers. And right before that, Mick says kids used to get tattoos and piercings. Now they mutilate and sterilize themselves. This is beyond fucked up. I blame old people for that. Old people. You shouldn't have gone out and got the tattoos like the kids were doing because they were like, well, we got to do something more extreme now.
Yeah.
Next, they'll be sewing their butthole shut.
Don't give them ideas, dude. The butthole challenge. Unfortunately, what you're seeing is the trenders popularizing this, and everybody else seeing there's money to be made off of it.
Well, I hear you. There's a lot of people, but it's doctors. Yeah, they're like, give me the money. Medical institutions, give me the money. But your everyday average American who's running around, and not just Americans, in the whole Western world now, they're running around being like, no, what? No, stop it. I would understand it, Jack, if everybody was getting a paycheck out of it. It's disgusting, but okay, I can understand motive of money. I don't understand people like, what? You can't be mean to them.
Well,
I'm just talking reality.
You've got the people that want everybody to just get along. So they're like, oh, it's just their truth. So you got the delusional hippie types. You've got people that just want to be left alone and they're like, fine, whatever. That just don't want to get involved. Unfortunately, those people are going to be just as dragged into this as everybody else because eventually it will affect them. Then you've got the activists that have something to gain by it, political power, whatever. There's always an underlying thing. You've got the parents that are scared. So they want their kid to be okay, or you got the gullible tards. There's too many people that are just willing to not say no. And that's what it comes down to is we have to get back to telling people, no, that's stupid.
We've got to get back to normal and accepting that there is a normal. And look, there's gay folks in our audience who are going to be upset with it, but gay is not normal. The normal for humans is male-female pairing, to propagate the species. And I'm not saying that that's how you have to do it. I don't care if you're gay, but we should be able to point out and accept that 5% of the population, that's the highest number I've seen. If you take all gay, trans, all of that together, 5% is the minority. It makes it the unusual, but you're not allowed to call anything unusual anymore.
No, everything has to be accepted and tolerated and loved and embraced. Look, this is going to end in tragedy with a lot of kids being butchered.
Yep.
Just so people can feel good about themselves, or you feed into somebody's Munchausen syndrome, or they make a big pile of money. The motive really doesn't matter. The fact that they're doing this to children is horrific.
Yes,
it should
absolutely.
be stopped.
I also want to point this out because you mentioned, these kids, they have no idea, what they're going to want in the future. I've used this example before for this kind of thing. My daughter never wanted kids. Never wanted kids. Fuck that. No, I'm not having any kids. And then Little Buck came.
Yeah, like, oh, they get the baby.
And she's like, I do not want any more kids. No more kids. And then when the middle one was born, she's like, I kind of want another kid. She's been talking about she didn't want kids since she was like in middle school. Like, all right, you'll change your mind.
Yeah, most women say that at some point, usually around college.
And the idea that you can take a 12, 13, even a 17-year-old and be like, I know what I'm going to do for what I want for the rest of my life. That's asinine. And these guys are going all the way back to the womb. From the womb, they know what they're going to want for the rest of their life, Jack.
Yeah.
That is beyond retarded.
Yep, but it's spoken like somebody with an agenda.
Look. Thank you, Shady Grin. I took a smidge and applied it down there, starting from the beginning, and oh boy, what a doozy. Yes. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, if you missed the beginning of the show, boy, did you miss us on top form.
Ebony says, how can anybody be certain they don't want kids in middle school? Well, a lot, especially young girls, that they're like that. If you've been around littler kids when you're 12 or 13 and they're annoying and you just want them to go away, the problem is that you grow and you understand that, your kids are not other people's kids. And yeah, you have that little aspect of it, Jack, just wanting kids, not changing anything.
Yeah.
Just, I don't want kids okay, I want kids.
Yeah, we change and evolve over time. It's just the way life is.
And they are mutilating these children on the whims of children. That's just literally what it is. But guys, I do need to wrap this up because I want to get a game stream done. It's almost 4:00 in the morning. So we'll be getting over there real quick. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. I really, really appreciate it. And Jack does as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to the stream I did earlier. But thank you all for the donations. You guys are awesome. And I hope you enjoyed the show, even though it was some pretty tough.
Look, the beginning was great.
Topics today.
The beginning was great.
The beginning was great. Then it went downhill because we started talking about the news.
Be over on twitch.tv/rantingmonkey. Bubba was kind enough to just throw it there in the YouTube chat. That is twitch.tv/rantingmonkey here in just a few minutes. Playing some Phasmophobia with my hobo friend, Bubba Hotep. So come over and check that out, guys. Sorry about some of the more passionate shit at the end. I hate ending on a passionate thing like that.
I really did have like a softener at the end.
Oh, that's all right.
I knew it was going to be rough, but
it's just the time of morning. Got such a later start tonight because of my fucking body. So we'll pick up with other stuff. Look, if the end of this is just too rough for you, go back and watch the beginning.
Yeah, just relive the beginning part.
Relive the beginning.
Talk about a prince's wiener
and his mom's lips.
Yeah, and how those are related together somehow.
I know. I just saw you nuts. I'm sorry, but I had to make that sound. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Don't think about your mom when you're rubbing salve on your schlong. I didn't rhyme.